danger of irreparable damage. Society cannot survive if its natural resources are rendered unfit for use by its people. The only hope of salvaging this grave situation is by making the young aware that they need to practically begin to perfect the environmental the will inherit. The moral and ethical education for changing people's attitude to perfect children living in polluted regions. Environmental education represents a important means of prevention. It is a need of the hour to propose the environmental education with the essential elements of moral philosophy. Dear friends, development, we can define sustainable development as the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Considering this issue, considering these points, our college and the Department of Botany organized this national e-seminar on importance of environmental education for sustainable development. Hope this seminar will be beneficial for every lover of environment. Dear friends, this one-day national e-seminar is divided into three segments. First, inauguration, and then couple of technical sessions. Starting with the inaugural function, we have got Dr. J.A. Tidke, ex-Pro VC and professor and head of the Department of Botany, Santa Gargi Baba University, Amravati, and the chairperson of this inaugural function of this national e-seminar is Dr. H.R. Edukar, Principal, Arts and Commerce Science College, RV, District Wardha, Maharashtra. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Dahat sir to introduce the to introduce this seminar and the speaker of this inaugural function and the chairperson of this inaugural function. Dr. Dahat sir.
Good morning to everybody. Myself, Dr. A.S. Dahat, Head Department of Botany, Art, Commerce, Science. Good morning, everybody. Myself, Dr. A.S. Dahat, Head of the Department of Botany, Art, Commerce, Science College, RV. It's my immense pleasure to be with all of you. I welcome to all teachers, students, scholars, professors, and other dignitaries to this national e-seminar on importance of environmental education for sustainable development. Environmental education is a process that allows the individual to explore environmental issues, engage in problem solving, and act to improve the environment. As a result, individuals develop a deeper understanding of environmental issues and have the skill to make informed and responsible decisions. Sustainable development always encourages us to conserve and enhance our resources by gradually changing the manner in which we develop and use the technology. All countries should meet their basic needs of employment, food, energy, water, and sustain. It's our privilege that we have Dr. Honorable J. Tidke sir, ex-Pro VC, ex-acting VC, and ex-professor and head of the Department of Botany Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati, as a chief guest of inaugural function of this e-seminar. Dr. N.M. Dongarwar, sir, Professor and Head, Department of Botany, Rashtra Sant Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. Dr. H.R. Virudkar, sir, Principal and Convener, Art, Commerce and Science College, RV, as a chairperson of inaugural function. Dr. Khapekar, sir, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Botany, DRB College, Nagpur, as a speaker. Dr. M.G. Thakre, sir, Assistant Professor and Head of the Environmental Science Department, Art, Commerce and Science College, Tukum, as a chairperson of the first technical session. Dr. Sharda Kosankar, ma'am, Senior Scientist, CSIR, Niri, Nagpur, as a speaker of the second technical session. Dr. O.S. Deshmukh, sir, Principal, Art and Science College, Chikli, as a chairperson of the second technical session. Dr. Pallavi Jamal, ma'am, Department of Higher Education, Government College for Women's, Jammu Kashmir, as a guest of the valedictory function. Professor J.S. Pandey, sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, and Dr. Vijayaraj Khadse, NAP Coordinator, Art, Commerce and Science College, RV, whose presence and blessing I am sure will grace this national e-seminar. I hope this seminar will be beneficial to us, to every person. If few of the participants could learn some new ideas about the environmental education and behave likewise, I think it will be the greatest success. This seminar will definitely guide us. I hope all of you enjoy the seminar and it will be sure give you knowledge and idea about the importance of environmental education for sustainable development. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Dahat, sir. In very few words, you made crystal clear the very motive behind organizing this national seminar. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Jay Tilke, sir, to share his views.
Introduction. Introduction to Dr. D.
I would like to invite Dr. Dahat, sir, to introduce the chief guest of this seminar.
Very good morning to all. Myself, Dr. S. Dahat. I would like to introduce today's chief guest of inaugural function, Honorable Dr. J. Tilke, sir. Dr. J. Tilke, sir, is ex-Pro VC, ex-acting Vice Chancellor, and ex-Director of the BCUD, and now ex-Professor and Head, Department of Botany, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. He has 27 years teaching experience and 27 years research experience. He has 75 research papers to his credit and presented near about 160 research papers at various national and international conferences. He has edited a book and completed 3 research projects. 18 students received a PhD under his esteemed guidance, and 3 students are still working under his guidance. He has evaluated about 10 PhD theses and guided 4 students for MPhil. He has visited various foreign universities and delivered the lecture there. He is felicitated with 12 honors and recognition. He has been selected as an executive member of second time of Indian Aerobiological Society, Kolkata. Recently, he has been retired as a professor and head Department of Botany, Sant Gadge Baba, Amravati University, Amravati. Dr. J. Tilke, sir, is a multifaceted personality, and time will fall short if I touch his multifacet. Therefore, I stop here to cut short this introduction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sir, for introducing the chief guest of this seminar. Now, I would like to call upon the chief guest of this inaugural function, Dr. J. Tilke Sir, to share his views on this occasion. Dr. J. Tilke Sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, one and all. Good morning to the organizers and the delegates present for this seminar. Dear friends, at the outset, let me extend my sincere thanks to the College and Department of Botany for inviting me as a chief guest for this seminar on environment. For this program, present the guest Dr. Valedictory sir, Dr. Dongarwar sir, and all the participants all over from our country. Environment is an entity. Everybody's life touches it. Without environment, nothing is impossible. And everything is possible only due to the environment. As some environmental changes took place, which are bound to be related with the biotic components of the environment, or say, we can say the components of the ecosystem. Everything is interrelated, and due to which we are suffering from COVID-19, it's the impact of surrounding or its impact of environment. One of the important aspect of the life, particularly the human life, and in general the life on the globe surface, is very precious. It is very important to have the sustainable environment to sustain the life. Dear friends, to organize such type of seminars for the students and the teachers, researchers, scholars is a very good initiative. For that, I congratulate the principal sir and head of department, Dr. Dahat, and all the guests who have accepted the invitation to deliver the lectures or to participate in this particular seminar. When we speak about the environment, if you go to Vedic period in our culture, everything has been addressed in our old literature, and due care of the environment is found to be taken by the peoples who wrote the Vedas and all these things. And later on, if you directly come to the today's environment, it is very drastic condition, because in the name of the development civilization, we have destroyed total environment. And as an individual, when I don't care about the environment, it creates very hazardous, I can say very dangerous conditions for the living beings. It is not only the human being who is suffering from this distorted type of environment, completely polluted environment. All the organisms on the globe surface, they are facing the same problem. So there should be scientific address. There should be deliberations who will take care of the environment. We, the student of the reproductive biology from my department, from here I retired during last 31st of this January. We were the team who addressed at least one aspect of the environment. We were dealing with pollination ecology and the aspects related with the pollination, pollen grain, and flower in connection with the environmental factors which have the impact on the life. Now, every aspect in the environment, say living or non-living, say natural or artificial, everything has to be taken very seriously. Otherwise, the days are not far away that we will suffer from the environment where we would not live for a few seconds, as we have observed in large cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai, also Kolkata. The level of the pollution is increased, and even breathing, which is the natural phenomena, is not possible in such environment. We have to close down the cities. It's very dangerous. We have to close down the cities, or the condition like lockdown comes not only due to the presence of the virus in the environment, but the level of the pollution drastically get down. And for the human being, we can address, being a human, we can tell what about the trees, what about the birds, what about the other animals. They can't say about all these things, and they have to suffer. They have to suffer. We, the human being, the smart creature on the surface of the globe, we are very smart. We undertake all these things, that whole world is made for me, whole environment is made for me. As a human being, I can explore, I can exploit everything, and I can use all the resources which are present, maybe living, non-living, whatever may be. Everything is made for me in this activity of the human being, maybe civilization, or developing big dams, and cutting the forest, having the good quality of the roads, buildings, etc., etc. Nobody bothers at the individual level. Nobody bothers at the community level, or say at the national level or state level or the world level. We have the programs. I always think, what for we are going to organize the program. It's okay to organize, to make the people aware of these things, but it should start from individual. Everybody should take care of the environment surrounding him. So environment may be living, it may be non-living things. Everything has to be addressed properly by using the advanced technologies. The level of the pollution should be as possible as low, and whatever the products, byproducts we are giving to the nature due to some artificial activities, that should be avoided. And whatever resources are available with us, there should be sustainable. And another very important thing is wise use of the resources. We have to become wise about the environment, so that these programs are there. However, this activity should be at the level of person, each person. Every individual should take care of that, and so also it should be addressed by the academic persons, like the professors, associate professors, say the students, from all the branches, not only from the science and technology, because everybody ultimately has to live in the environment. And for that, the nation people, or the leaders, or say the authorities, they are taking due care. The fault is at the implementation level, and if the proper implementation is there, people can be awakened for wise use of the resources, and these resources, or the management of the resources, will be done very nicely. So I again congratulate the organizers, and I extend my gratitude towards the organizers for inviting me to deliver a very brief introductory, say, environmental awareness thoughts, and made me the part of this very nice program. I am thankful to you also for listening me, though for few minutes, because we have long program ahead, whole day program ahead. So I am thankful to all of you who have joined the program. I'm thankful to press and all the peoples. Thank you very much. See you. I extend my good luck for the successful organization of this seminar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. J. Tilke, sir, for sparing a very valuable time for this seminar and for asserting the importance of environmental education in the context of sustainable development. Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. H.R. Vilkar, sir, Principal, Arts, Commerce, Science College, RV, to address this seminar. Dr. Vilkar, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, you're
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome in a seminar on importance of an environmental education for sustainable development. Our inspiration, late N.R. Kai, ex-president of Krishak Education Society, chief patron, Advocate Dilip Narayanaji Kai, president of Krishak Education Society, Advocate Shobhatai Kai, treasurer of Krishak Education Society, Honorable Inaugurator and Chief Guest, Dr. J. Tilke sir, ex-professor, ex-pro vice chancellor, professor and head, Department of Botany, Santa Gadge Baba Amravati University. Honorable speakers, Dr. R.R. Khapekar, Associate Professor and Study, Department of Botany, DRB, Sindhu Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, who is speaking on topic importance of environmental education and role of different stakeholders in environmental protection. Another honorable speaker, Dr. Sharda Pasankar, Senior Scientist, CSIR, Neri, Nagpur, who is speaking on need of environmental education in today's world. Honorable Chairman of Technical Session, Dr. M.J. Thackeray sir, Dr. O.S. Deshmukh sir, Chairman of Valedictory Function, Dr. Pallavi Jamwal, Honorable Dr. N.M. Dongarwar sir, Professor and Head, PG Department, Department of Botany, RTM, Nagpur. Honorable dignitaries who are participating in this seminar, teachers, researchers, professors, students, and all dear participants. We know that to empower citizens so they can bring about change within their society is the main goal of environmental education. Dr. Tilke sir have rightly pointed out that in ancient era, in our ancient literature, in Vedas and ancient literature, the environmental education was indeed there. People's worship environment. By worshipping environment, they try to protect it. But in the name of development, nowadays the position is becoming quite dangerous and critical day by day. And that's why such type of seminar, such type of importance of such type of seminar is indeed needed. With the help of creativity and cooperation, learning can be more effective towards ensuring that all species are in equilibrium with their environment. Allows individuals to explore environmental issues, engage in problem solving, and act to improve the environment. This is the really the process of environmental education. Sustainable development always encourages us to conserve and enhance our resources. But by gradually changing the manners in which we develop and use technologies, all countries should meet their basic needs of employment, food, energy, water, and sanitation. Still, environmental education is so important that environmental education has a fundamental role to play in motivating people to teach environmental friendly practices. We cannot expect people to act in appropriate way without awareness of the problem. It causes the impact on our daily life and the long range consequences. People contributed little bit and pieces to it, all of which put together assume enormous dimension. All efforts, all efforts, a little care exercised by each individual in the society could eliminate the entire problem, starting from the grassroots level. Environmental education should involve all sections of our society, should be able to create a general awareness concerning environmental problems, motivate people to conserve resources, protect environment, and avoid extra vigilance, promote understanding and cooperation among people to face ecological issues, conserve indigenous knowledge, traditions, and culture friendly to the environment. Friends, our honorable, eminent, intellectual, and well-known speakers are focusing more on this issue. So I hope that the inaugural part is over, and I stop here. Thank you. Thanks once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your valuable views on importance of environmental education in the context of sustainable development. Thank you once again, sir. Now, with the permission of organizers, I declare that the inaugural function of this e-seminar.
1 minute.
Yes,
Let me declare that the seminar is open and it is inaugurated. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. With the permission of the organizers, I declare that the inaugural function of this national e-seminar on importance of environmental education for sustainable development is over. Now we will move for the first technical session of this e-seminar. For the first technical session, we have got as the chairperson, Dr. M.G. Thakre, sir, Assistant Professor and Head of the Department of EVS, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Tukum. And the speaker of this first technical session is Dr. R.R. Khapekar, sir, Associate Professor and Head of the Department of Botany, DRB Sindhu Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. Now I would like to invite Dr. Kende, sir, to introduce the chairperson of this first technical session, Dr. M.G. Thakre, sir. Dr. Kende, sir, please.
Well, good morning to all of you. On the behalf of Arts, Commerce and Science College, RV, I would like to welcome you all in the first technical session of today's e-seminar. It's been my pleasure to introduce the chairperson of the first technical session, Dr. M.G. Thakre. Dr. M.G. Thakre, presently working as Assistant Professor and Head Department of Environmental Science at Arts, Commerce and Science College, Tukum, Chandrapur. He has completed his MSc in 1990 from Nagpur University, and he has 19 years of long experience of teaching, and he was awarded with PhD degree in 2012 by RTMNU Nagpur University, Nagpur. He has 10 years of research experience. 2 students received PhD degree under his esteemed guidance, and 5 research scholars are still working under his guidance. He has evaluated more than 5 PhD theses. He is a life member of Research Society of Chennai Chemical Sciences, Bhopal, and a member of ASCON Institute of Science, Nagpur. He working as a chairman of a board of studies for environmental sciences of Gondwana University, Gadchiroli. He has published and presented about 34 research papers in national and international reputed journals. I welcome you, sir, and thank you once again to organizer for giving me a chance to introduce such a eminent personality. Over to you, Dr. Kharse, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Neeraj Kende, sir. Thank you very much for introducing the chairperson of first technical session, Dr. M.G. Thakre, sir, in very brief. Thank you once again. Now I would like to invite Dr. A. Dar, sir, head of the Department of Botany, Arts, Commerce, Science College, RV, to introduce the speaker of this first technical session, Dr. R.R. Khapekar, sir. Dr. Dar, sir.
Good morning once again. I would like to introduce Dr. Rajkumar Khapekar sir as a speaker of first technical session. Dr. R.R. Khapekar sir, working as an associate professor and head department of botany, DRB Sindhu Mahavidyalay, Patpauli, Nagpur. His doctoral research work entitled Ecophysiological Studies on Algae of Thermal Power Station is declared as the best work by UGC and Rashtrasanta Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. He has 18 years teaching experience and 10-year research experience. He served in various divisions of National Environmental Engineering Research Institute, NEERI, Nagpur. He has visited various foreign universities and delivered lectures there. He is a recipient of various prestigious awards, fellowship, and he is felicitated with 23 awards by various government agencies and universities. He has published and presented about 30 research papers in national and international reputed journals. He has published 6 books having standard ISBN number, including 2 books for Maharashtra State Board. Dr. Khapekar sir is a multifaceted personality and time falls short. Multifaceted. Therefore, I stop here to cut short this introduction. Thank you, Dr. Khapekar sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Dahat, sir. Thank you very much for introducing the chief speaker of this first technical session, Dr. R.R. Khapekar, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. R.R. Khapekar, sir, to share his valuable views on this occasion. Dr. R.R. Khapekar, sir.
Thank you, Kharse sir. I suppose I am audible to all of you?
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay, let me present my share my screen first. Please enable me to share my screen.
Okay, sir. Just we need a 1 minute. Yes.
Should I share now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Wait a second, sir. Wait a second.
Yes. Don't worry. These are all technical glitches we are used to face nowadays.
Yeah. Call the technician. Now you can share your PPT, sir.
Okay. Okay. I suppose all the things are visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. At the outset, I must say thank you to entire College of Art, Commerce and Science, RV District Varda, Dr. Anil Dahat sir, then Dr. Jayesh Pandey sir, Principal Dr. Hirulkar sir, Dr. Tidke, ex-Vice Chancellor of Sant Gadge Baba Amravati Vidyapith, Organizing Secretary Dr. Dahat sir, Dr. J.R. Pandey sir, Chairman of the session, please put off the mic if you can. Please tell the participant that they can put off the mic so it is possible for me to deliver my lecture. Okay, and the chairman of the session, my friend M.D. Thakre sir. At the outset only, I would like to congratulate all the entire team of the RV College, Art, Commerce and Science College for organizing such an beautiful seminar, and I suppose which is the need of the today's era, and that is the national seminar on importance of environmental education for sustainable development. My dear friends, today I am going to share some of my views on importance of environmental education and role of different stakeholders in environment protection. In the morning itself, Dr. Tidke has very rightly depicted that all the things are there in our ancient literature. We know all the things, but we have to implement the things, and the way of implementation is the education. So it's, I suppose it is very important topic you have chosen in this particular crucial area for the development, for the sustainable development, for the betterment of the Mother Earth. Let me start my presentation first. My dear friends, whenever we are talking about the sustainable development or the protection of the Mother Earth, there are so many things which comes in our mind. But recently, I have gone through some of the WhatsApp picture which creates certain things in my mind, and I would like to share that things with you. My dear friends, in this particular picture, you can see that a person is planting a tree with a small kid, and he is saying that, son, one day you will definitely know the appreciate the truly important thing in life. After some day, after the death of that particular person, you can see that in very next picture, you can see that a small kid is grown up and he has now a daughter, and he is swinging his daughter on the same tree which his father had planted, and he is saying, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. I suppose this is very samarpak picture to share with you what are the importance of the preservation of the nature, what the conservation of the nature, the sustainability of the nature. My dear friend, the thing is very important, so that Government of India and Honorable Supreme Court has directed to all the school level that they have to start the education, environmental education, right from the beginning. And very rightly, Government of Maharashtra, State Board, Maharashtra State Board, Biodiversity has started, already started, and now recently they have developed certain types of courses and topics in their class 11 book as well as in the class 12 book. The title is Environment Education and Water Security in the class 11 and class 10 by Biodiversity. My dear friend, I am very happy to share with you that I am in that particular committee of Maharashtra Government's State Board, where we have designed the course, where we selected such an important topic in the class 11th and class 12 book. It is still in the course. Last year, we have developed that particular class 12 book, and I'm very happy to share you that some of the topic I have written in that particular class 11th and class 12 book. So the thing is very important. My dear friends, whenever we are talking about the sustainable development, we have given different sustainable goals. There are almost 17 sustainable goals, but I would like to drag your attention towards the goal number 4, that is quality education. Then goal number 13, climate action, life below water, life on land, and etc., which is somehow related to the conservation of the nature, which is somehow related to the preservation of nature, which is somehow related to the protection of the mother earth. So this sustainable development, you have to take care of all these 17 goals, including all these goals for the sustainability. My dear friend, whenever we are talking about the development, there are so many things comes in our mind. What exactly the development is? Whenever there is any kind of project we started, or government started, or private organization started, there are three things which we must keep in our mind. That is social impact of that particular project, economic impact of that particular project, and the environmental impact of that particular project. My dear friend, it is very important to keep in our mind the environmental impact of the project also, isn't it? So it is very important. India is a developing country. We have to build thermal power station. We are building thermal power station. Excuse me, can you put off your mic, please? I would like to ask you, kindly put off the mic. If anyone's mic is still open, kindly put off the mic. Dahat sir? Khadse sir, Dahat sir?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Every mic is mute. You can proceed.
No, still I am listening some obnoxious sound.
Okay, I check out, sir. 1 minute.
I suppose Dahat sir's mic is open. So please take care of that. I would like to continue the thing because it breaks the continuity. Okay, so my dear friend, India is a developing country, and we are building thermal power stations, nuclear power plants, dams, roads, tunnels, human settlement, agricultural land. Yes, we need all that things because India is a developing country. But we have to lead the development. Please, yeah, please put off the mic. So we need all this developmental project because we can say that if there will be no electricity, it is not possible for me to talk with you. Yes. So we need electricity also. So with the help of that electricity, I am now connected with you people. So we need all these developmental projects, but we need development at what cost? My dear friend, I would like to drive your attention here. We need development, but development at what cost? That is the question we have to ask to ourselves. So that thing is nowadays gaining very importance, that is called as the sustainable development. What exactly meaning the sustainable development? Sustainable development means what the शाश्वत और चिरंतन विकास, जिसको हम लोग शाश्वत या फिर चिरंतन विकास बोल सकते हैं. We need the development with the harmonious relationship with our entire nature. So nowadays sustainable development gaining importance, very much importance now day by day. Yes, my dear friend, whenever we started any kind of the project, we have already talked, we have to take care of the environment, life and earth. At the same time, we have to take care that the project is economical, social and ecological. At the same time, my dear friend, we have to take care that the project is equitable, whether it is viable, whether it is bearable, and ultimately we have to take into consideration if the project is sustainable or not. My dear friend, we have to build the cities and the environment where we can live in a harmonious relationship with the nature. That is our prime duty. That is the duty of government. That is the duty of non-government organization. My dear friends, whenever we are talking about the conservation of the nature, there are so many things comes in our mind. one of the things is importance of plant and the importance of forest, the economic benefits which forest gives us. Right from beginning, you have know very well that forest provides so many things like seeds, earth, leaves, medicinal values, and so many things. But I would like to drag your attention in this particular picture towards this picture that is called as the biodiversity. My dear friend, whenever we are talking about the sustainable development, we have to take care of our biodiversity. We have to take utmost care of the surrounding environment and the biodiversity. My dear friend, there are so many importance of biodiversity, you know. It is estimated that almost 90% of the species of flora and fauna, including microorganisms, are present in the forest, and they support the biodiversity. And you know very well, the India is a mega biodiversity country. Almost 8% of the total species of the world is found in India. But my dear friend, there are species like of plants and animals which are in a danger. Some of the species are either vanished from the map of the world, or there are some of the species, plants, flora and fauna, they are on the verge of the completion of the vanishing. So it's our duty. The topic or the thing is very important, so that you might be know in this year's 26th January parade, Republic Day parade, government of Maharashtra has created its Chitra Rath, which is completely based on the biodiversity. Here we can you can see the shekru, which is the animal of Maharashtra, yellow-footed green pigeon, a plant like tamhan and amba is shown in the rally of 26 January, that means Republic Day parade. That means with this particular picture, with this particular jhaki, Chitra Rath, Maharashtra government is saying that they are very concerned about the biodiversity. So the thing is very important that it is presented on the Rajpath for the attraction, for the taking cognizance for other people also. Dear friend, it is very clearly written in the Article 51A in the Indian Constitution, and what there is written in the Indian Constitution, I would like to read it exactly as it is. That is, it shall be the duty of every citizens to protect the forest and improve the natural environment, forests, lakes, rivers, and wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures. It is clearly mentioned in the Article 51A in the Indian Constitution. But my dear friend, I would like to ask one question to you, whether you as well as me also stick to that Article 51A in the Indian Constitution. My dear friend, it is matter of question for you, for me, and for all of us. It is very important. Dear friends, with this particular picture, I would like to show you that our environment is very good. Our nature is very good. Our Mother Earth is very good. It is very pleasant. It is mesmerizing. But at the same time, I would like to extend my congratulations to all of you. And for what? I am saying here that great job, guys. Our Earth is dying. Here I am saying the Earth is dying, and I am extending my best wishes. I am saying great job for what cause? For Earth is dying. So many of might be thinking that the person, why the person who is in front of you is saying that when the Earth is dying, and why he is extending his congratulations. I would like to ask one question here. How many of you wants to accept my congratulations? I suppose there is no one who is accepting my congratulations. My dear friend, I am saying this thing very sarcastically, because yes, somewhere you and somewhere me also known that we all are knowingly or unknowingly, we all are responsible for the pathetic situation of the Mother Earth. So we have to take care of our Mother Earth. My dear friend, whenever we are talking about the pathetic condition of the Earth, we have to think about the biodiversity. And when we are saying that the biodiversity, the destruction, causes of destruction of the biodiversity is the habitat destruction, excavation, illegal wild trade, soil erosion, and various kinds of pollution. And yes, there are a number of other reasons also through which we are disturbing our biodiversity. Yes, there is a, it's all because of all that things. There is a scarcity of resources, and scarcity of resources means not for the water, but there are so many other resources we are facing the problem. When we are talking about the scarcity, at the same time, we are talking about the climate change and the global warming. My dear friend, whenever we are talking about the global warming, I used to show this particular picture in most of my presentation because this graphical representation is very important, and it is shared by IPCC, that is Intergovernmental Panel of Climate Change, Intergovernmental Planet of Climate Change. And what he is saying that according to that particular organization, the temperature of the earth is increasing by every passing year, and we are already here in 2020s. And what they are saying that there is increased risk of extinction of 20 to 30% of the known species. We are facing heat waves, floods, and droughts also. My dear friend, all these things we are facing in the era of 2020. And they are saying, they are warning us, if the temperature of the earth is increasing year by year with this pace, my dear friends, it might be possible that by 2080s, there is extinction of more than 40% of known species, global economic losses, and obviously it will hamper the GDP also. My dear friend, with this particular picture given by IPCC, I would like to drag your attention that the situation, that the condition is very pathetic, and we have to take care of our mother Earth. When we are talking about the global warming, two cases I would like to share with you. One is the Mount Oakjokul. You can see here it is an islandic glacier. I am saying, please take my words, it was an islandic glacier. Here, this picture was taken in the 1986, and here in this case, you can see the picture was taken in the 2001. Here in this case, the mountain is covered by ice and snow, and here in this case, you can see the mountain on the top of the mountain. There are very less, what can I say, that the snow. Question arises, where all this snow gone? It's all because of the global temperature. The snow is melted, and my dear friends, the scientists and the peoples of that particular island, they have placed a flag there in August 2019, very recently, and they declare that Mount Oakjokul was an island, and he lost the status of the island. My dear friend, it is very crucial and pathetic. Second picture I would like to share with you is the Mount Kilimanjaro, which is located in the Africa, Kenya. The picture was taken in the 1993, and here you can see that the picture was taken. It also taken way back 20 years back in 2000. Here also you can see that the mountain cover is covered by ice, but here in case that you can see that the snow is already melted. Question arises, where all that snow gone? It's all because of the temperature rise. The ice is melting in polar caps also, as well as in certain areas like Mount Oakjokul and in Kilimanjaro also. Whenever we are talking about the global warming, yes, recently NASA has shared this graph with all of us, and here in this case you can see that every year the temperature is rising. Whenever we are talking about the global warming, only the temperature is not increasing, but at the same time the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is also increasing day by day, and day by day. That means the temperature is also increasing, and the amount of carbon dioxide is also increasing. The ultimate effect of that is the greenhouse effect. Actually, the greenhouse is a natural phenomenon, but it is multiplied by various fold because of the anthropogenic activities. You know very well what exactly the greenhouse is. I don't want to explain what exactly the greenhouse effect is right now. But about the gases, yes, carbon dioxide is mainly responsible for the greenhouse gases, and If we're talking about the country, then here you can see that it is the graph which is shown by the World Resource Institute, China, United States, European Union, and yes, my dear friend, India is also not lagging behind. We are on the 4th position to for the contribution of the greenhouse gases in the environment. What are the consequences of the greenhouse gases? Yes, I already told you that the temperature of the earth is increasing, and as a result of that, the polar caps, the ice glaciers is melting now, and the melted water, where it goes, it goes in the, it will increase, it will not, it will increase, and it is increasing the level of water in the ocean. It's all because of that. The habitat destruction is there. The animals, the plants, which is residing in that particular area, is now facing the problem of habitat destruction. Yes, when I was saying that the level of the ocean is increasing, it is saying, scientists are saying that many of the world islands are already disappearing beneath the sea. And after some years, it is saying that the beautiful tiny islands like Maldives and other islands also, they will be submerged under the water, because there is continuous rising of sea level. So scientists have dragging our attention towards this particular point, that the level of the ocean is rising, and they are saying that the beautiful island like Maldives, after some year, it will be vanished from the graph of the world. My dear friend, it is very horrible situation. At the same time, we are saying that there is a rising temperature, and there is a water level increase in the ocean. But my dear friends, my dear, there are so many areas in India as well as in the entire country, in the entire world, that people have to go miles away to fetch a single pail of water. People have to put their life in danger to collect simple pail of water. And if this type of situation arises, you can consider how the socio-economic impact of this particular situation on the surrounding environment as well as in the surrounding people also. My dear friend, you very well know that we have ample amount of water, about available amount of water which is present on the earth. There are 2% of water is confined in the form of ice caps and glaciers, and we have only 1% of fresh water with which we are living our life. Kindly put off the mic, please. Kindly, please put off the mic, please. It is very disturbing. So I can say that every passing time and every passing second and every passing hour, our life is in danger. My dear friends, it's all because of the anthropogenic activities like discharge of industrial effluents and addition of domestic waste in the surrounding area, as well as there are so many other activities which we are performing, and knowingly and unknowingly we are disturbing our water bodies and we are disturbing our mother earth. Some of the activities like immersion of adults in the lakes and the rivers and the oceans. It's all because of that. The pollution of water, the surrounding pollution is increasing day by day. You know very well. My dear friends, one of the case I would like to share with you in very nutshell manner. I have done one UGC project through which you can see that which is the area of that particular project is Naik Lake, which is situated in the north area of Nagpur city. You can see that the area is very densely populated. And here in this case, you can say that the lake is highly polluted, highly organically polluted with the various anthropogenic activities. Here you can see that there is a direct addition of sewage from the so many houses to that particular lake. As a result of that, the pollution level, the organic pollution level of that particular lake is increasing day by day. These are the values. You don't consider all these values. I would like to explain this thing. Yes, these are the pollution indicator species which I have encountered during my investigation. Let us, yes, and I would like to drag your attention here. I have calculated one index that is called as the Palmer's Pollution Index, which shows that the Palmer's Pollution Index of that particular area is 28. That means it is very highly organically polluted. And yes, there are some pollution indicator species like Oscillatoria, Navicula, Nizia, and so many species I have encountered, which shows that the pollution, organic pollution level of that particular water body is very high. I just want to show you that, I just want to tell you that it's all because of the anthropogenic activities, the pollution of water bodies and the entire area is increasing day by day. So my dear friends, to address and tackle with all such environmental problems, we need formal environmental education. I would like to repeat my words. So to address and tackle with all such environmental problems, we need formal environmental education. What exactly the environmental education is, you know very well. I would like to explain the things in very nutshell manner. It is a way by which people develop awareness, knowledge, and concern about the environment. And by understanding this, they can learn to protect and conserve environment for more sustainable manner. And it also boosts the willingness of a person, including students, youth, community leaders, non-government organizations, policymaker, to take initiation and social participation to achieve the sustainability. It's all because of the environmental education. People gather more courage to take participation social and environmental activities. Our aim of environmental education must be included to improve the overall quality of the surrounding environment, as well as to create awareness among the people on various environmental issues, as well as to promote the formation of small groups so that we have dialogue with the local government bodies. My dear friend, it is very important. If it is possible for us, being a teacher, being a community leader, or being a social activist, or being a common people also, we can form a small groups. We can have a dialogue with amongst that particular group, and we can have a dialogue with the local government bodies to tackle all these environmental issues. My dear friend, whenever a person taking formal knowledge of environment education, what he get awareness, he or she get knowledge, he or she acquire attitude, he or she acquires skill, and the courage of participation, to take participation in the various environmental and social activities. What I am saying regarding the awareness, to acquire an awareness and create sensitivity to the surrounding environment and problem associated with knowledge, as well as they develop the attitude also. At the same time, they acquire skill for identifying and solving the at least local environment problem. I always used to say in my in any of the either my presentation, I would like to say here also that think globally and act locally. You have to take very small steps. बहुत छोटी छोटी स्टेप्स अगर हम लोगों ने लिया तो उसका इम्पैक्ट ऑब्वियसली बहुत बड़ा होता है माय डियर फ्रेंड, एंड इट विल गेन नॉलेज, skill, attitude, as well as environmental education. It's all because of the environmental education we got the courage to take participation in so many social and environmental activities. So that, my dear friend, I'm saying that the formal education or environmental education is very important. Then importance of environment education. Yes, first of all, first and foremost, the importance of environment or any kind of environment education or education is to differentiate between the fact and the fake. My dear friend, there is very small and thin line between the fact and the fake. It will give a vision to distinguish between the myth and the reality. What exactly the myth and what exactly the reality. With very short example, I would like to explain you that every morning in India, knowingly or unknowingly, we use to several gallons of water. Why? Because so many people are thinking that कल रात को जो हम लोगों ने कल दिन में जो हम लोगों ने पानी भर कर रखा था अपने यूटेंसिल्स में, अपने कंटेनर में, वो आज बासी हो गया. आपण मराठीत त्याला म्हणतो की आदल्या दिवशी भरलेलं पाणी दुसऱ्या दिवशी शिळ होऊन जातं. म्हणून जेव्हा नळ येतो तर आपण रात्री भरलेलं पाणी फेकून देतो. परत सकाळी नळ आल्यानंतर ते पाणी आपण परत भरत असतो. बट माय डिअर फ्रेंड, आय वुड लाईक टू टेल यू, the water which the water which you are drinking today, it was collected last year. जब लास्ट ईयर जमा किया हुआ पानी हम लोग नल से भरते हैं तो वो बासी नहीं होता, ते पाणी शिळ होत नाही. तर एका दिवसातच एका रात्रीत ते पाणी शिळ कसं होतं? Actually, my dear friend, I would like to drag your attention towards this myth and reality. Myth is that की रात्री भरलेलं पाणी सकाळी शिळ होत असतं, and reality is that it is not like that. हम लोग जो पानी आज पी रहे हैं वो पिछले साल बरसात में आया था. तो देर इज नथिंग थिंग लाइक दैट की पाणी बासा हो जाता है किंवा पाणी शिळ होतं. पाणी शिळ कधीच होत नसतं. तर ही जी विजन आहे, that vision comes after the formal environmental education. So fact and fact, and there is the environmental formal environmental education gives us vision to differentiate between the myth and the reality. There are so many important importance of the environmental education, which gives basic knowledge, which gives knowledge about which gives skill, which gives knowledge about the pollution control and so on, which gives us knowledge, as well as it will impart the skill for the production of the mother earth, as well as it will provide the vision with which we can protect the mother earth. As at the same time, the concept from environmental education can be applied to the study of agriculture also. Then it gives us courage to ask question and answers regarding the various environmental problem. At the same time, environmental education gives us vision to the students and youth, which ultimately makes them green warrior in true sense and makes them sensible for the protection of the mother. These are the various importance of the environmental education. My dear friends, till now we have discussed regarding the problems of the environment. Now let us discuss something regarding the possible sustainable solution and the role of different stakeholders for the environment protection. Yes, my dear friend, one of the possible sustainable development is the eco-restoration. My dear friend, eco-restoration means the redevelopment of degraded ecosystem or restoring the total ecosystem, including all abiotic and biotic components in more or less sustainable manner, sustainable development. That means the area or is degraded either of the way by the pollution or by either of the way. We have to rejuvenate that area with the help of plants and with the help of certain other means, that is called as the eco restoration. And one of the way of eco restoration, my dear friend, is a phytoremediation. My dear friend, phytoremediation itself is a very big topic. I can deliver a lecture of 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 2 hours on phytoremediation itself. But I would like to drag your attention towards these yellow lines. What exactly the phytoremediation is? It's a unique plants. With the help of plants we can remediate the nature, and plants are the organisms equipped with remarkable metabolic absorption capabilities as well as transport system. At the same time, pollutants are absorbed in the roots. That means plants have a capacity to absorb the pollutants from the aquatic environment and from the surrounding environment also. That exactly is the phytoremediation. And yes, one of the way of phytoremediation is the artificial floating island, that is called as the AFI. And my dear friend, I am very happy to share with you all one of such technology, that is called as the AFI, artificial floating island. I have presented in front of Nagpur Municipal Corporation, and for that particular my idea, Nagpur Municipal Corporation has awarded me as a Mayor's Innovation Award in 2019 by the hands of Honorable Nitinji Gadkari and Mayor of Nagpur, Nandata Jiskar, and so many others. Why I am saying that? It's all because of the plants. Plants have a capacity to absorb the pollutants from the surrounding area, from the nature, from the degraded area like polluted land as well as the polluted water also. One of the eco restoration thing is that the wasteland management, and that is called as the IBA technology, integrated biotechnological approach, which was developed and designed by CSIR NEERI, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. I was there for 4 years, and I have worked on that particular project that is called as the integrated biotechnological approach. Here you can see that the barren manganese iron is once upon the area is very barren, but it's all because of the IBA technology. The NEERI scientists have converted this area into a lush green forest. It's all because it's all through the plants and plants only, my dear friend. So plants have that much capacity. At the same time, my dear friend, Government of India, Ministry of Environment and Forest, Climate Change, Government of India has started very good project that is called as the urban forestry, that is called as the Nagar Van Udyan. What exactly the urban forestry or the Nagar Van Udyan project is? It is actually art and science and technology of managing trees and forest in and around urban community. In that particular project, the plants or the jungle or the forest is developing inside the human locality. That is called as the urban forestry, Nagarvan Udyan. Then question arise: who own that particular thing? Who own that urban forest? It might be privately owned, or it might be government organization who own that particular forest. And where they are located, some municipal forests may be located outside of the town or inside to the city to which they belong. Many are located within the cities also. And my dear friend, I would like to show you one picture. This is the picture from Raipur, Chhattisgarh itself, where the government demolished the establishment and they developed Nagarvan, that is forest inside the city, and which creates very aesthetic view, as well as the pollution level of that particular area. It's all because of that project goes down also. My dear friend, one of the way to stop the air pollution is the green belt development. It's all because of the plants we have in that particular green belt development. A series of plants, particular species of plant in and around the areas like nuclear power plants and the thermal power station, which used to absorb the fly ash, which used to absorb the pollution from the surrounding environment. That is the green belt. My dear friend, yes, one of the way through which we can drag the attention as well as to stop the pollution is we have to formulate the stringent laws at the same time. Yes, my dear friend, you know very well there are laws, but we have to make the laws very stringent. Before some days, during the Ganpati Puja, Nagpur Municipal Corporation ban on the sale of the immersion of the POP idols. Then the POP idols makers goes to the High Court, and NMC at the same time seizes so many plaster of Paris idols also. But POP idol maker challenged this particular decision in front of the High Court, and then High Court itself says that POP Murtichi Zapti Nako. That means, on the one hand side, NMC, Nagpur Municipal Corporation, was saying that there is a ban on selling of the POP idols, but at the same time, High Court is saying that the High Court consider NMC ban on POP idols of Lord Ganesha, but they are saying that there is POP Murtichi Zapti Nako. So that we have to make the laws very stringent. At the same time, it's our duty. We are professors, we are a community, I suppose we are community leaders. So according to me, public awareness is one of the way through which we can educate the people very properly. I have already told you that we have to form small groups, we have to make a dialogue amongst our group, and we have to make a pressure on the government through the dialogues for the production of the at least to solve the local environmental problems. My dear friend, I would like to tell you that every year with my students, I used to go to the various lakes to collect the POP idols from the various people. We collect that idols. We used to give that idols to the NMC personals. We collect the nirmalya. We used to give that nirmalya to the NMC personals, and then they will create something good for that from that particular stuff. So we have to create certain types of small groups for the environmental protection. My dear friend, this is very interesting photograph which now you are observing on your screen. You can see that it is a गणेश उत्सव मंडल रानी लक्ष्मीनगर, जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं। यहाँ पर जो गणपति बैठाते हैं, पिछले कुछ सालों से एक ही गणपति बैठाते हैं, 3-4 फूट का पितळीची मूर्ती ती बसवतात आणि दरवर्षी ती एकच मूर्ती बसवतात। आणि जे भाविक भक्त गणपतीच्या दर्शनाला इथे येतात त्यांना ते सांगतात की गणपतीसाठी हार आणू नका, गणपतीसाठी पेढे आणू नका, गणपतीसाठी येताना 4 वह्या आणि 4 पेन घेऊन या। दरवर्षी अनेक भाविक भक्त तिथे व्हिजिट करतात, 4 वह्या आणि 4 पेन तिथे देतात, ते कलेक्ट करतात आणि गरजू विद्यार्थ्यांना वाटतात। माय डियर फ्रेंड, आय सपोज बाय doing certain gestures, the Ganpati Maharaj will be more happy. So I suppose Ganpati Mandal of Maharashtra should take initiation from Rani Lakshmi Nagar, and they must start at certain types of activity in the Ganesh Utsav Mandal also. Then question arises when we are talking about the role of different stakeholders for the environmental protection. Then question arises, what municipal corporation is doing? Yes, my dear friend, municipal corporation, government and non-government organization doing their bit very properly. They used to install colors, they used to install bins, they used to install tanks, water tanks. But at the same time, there is a duty of corporates also, that is, there must be a corporate social responsibility. Previously, corporate social responsibility includes only economic, workplace balance and civic. Nowadays, I can say that the corporates people also taking care of the environment. So many CSR project is running in India, in Maharashtra also. Whenever we are talking about the protection of the environment, हम लोगों के मन में एक चीज आती है कि एक पर्सन क्या कर सकता है, मेरे करने से क्या हो सकता है। लेकिन माय डियर फ्रेंड, जो फोटोग्राफ आप अपने स्क्रीन पर भी देख रहे हैं, many of you might be knowing that he is a waterman of India. He is a Professor Rajendra Singh. He got very important Nobel Prize for water, that is called as the Stockholm Water Prize. And with his initiation, so many areas of Rajasthan and Haryana becomes green. He used to collect every drop of water in the that particular channel. So he got a very important Stockholm Water Prize, and he's saying, we are affectionately saying that waterman of India. Then what are the individuals' role to conserve the nature? There are so many individuals' role. We have to educate, conserve water, choose sustainability, shop wisely, and so and so. With this particular picture, I would like to explain the things in very right way. I can say that whenever we go for any outing, for picnic, after the completion of the picnic, one thing is keep in our mind. One thing is comes in our mind. Should I leave the trash or take it with me? जो हम लोगों ने कचरा फैलाया है आफ्टर और पिकनिक, ये मैंने मेरे साथ ले जाना चाहिए या वहीं पे छोड़ देना चाहिए? With this particular picture, you can understand very well that हम लोग जब भी आउटिंग के लिए या पिकनिक के लिए बाहर जाते हैं, वो कचरा जो हम लोग करते हैं वो हमने हमारे साथ ले जाना चाहिए। तो ये जो साथ कचरा ले जाने की भावना हमारे अंदर आती है, it's all because of the environmental education. There are so many ways through which we can tackle with that particular problem, like the stopping the excavation, using wisely the electricity, using wisely the electricity equipments. At the same time, we have to use the green energy like wind power, like solar power. And yes, we have to think for our travels also from this to this, like public transport and using pedestrian or using the cycle. That are the way. My dear friend, it's all because of the industrialization. It's all because of the urbanization. and it's all because of the population explosion. Dear friend, there is a scarcity of the resources. There is not only scarcity of water, but there is scarcity of resources we are facing day by day. Yes, and it's all because of the anthropogenic activity. So what are the solution? Yes, the green solution, the and in offices, stop extra excavation, and ultimately stop the loss of the biodiversity, and ultimately the way of changing the lifestyle through which we can tackle this problem very well. My dear friend, whenever we are talking about the role of stakeholders, so in this particular case, the women's role is very important in the management of the environment. Why I am saying that? You might be known the people like Greta Thunberg, who is a 15-year-old child, and she rose his voice in front of the parliament. Then you might be know about the Wangari Maathai. She was from Kenya, and she won the Nobel Peace Prize for the protection of the environment. You might be know about the Vandana Shiva. You might be know about the Winona, and so many other people. Whenever we are talking about the role of women in the environment protection, we cannot forget the Chipko movement, which was initiated by the Sunderland Bahuguna, and in that particular moment, so many people have sacrificed their life. Almost 363 Bishnoi people sacrificed their life, and in that particular moment, most of the ladies and like the Chanda Devi or some other ladies were there for that particular Chipko moment. You might be know about that. Yes, my dear friend, very short, I will complete my presentation. But this is very beautiful picture I consider I gone through in the recent year. Have you know who is this lady? Many of you might be know that she is Padma Shri Raibai Soma Popre from the Akole block of the Ahmednagar district from Maharashtra itself. She is uneducated lady. She is a farmer, but she has a vision for the conservation. She is affectionately called as a Bij Mata. She is affectionately called as a seed mother. She used to conserve so many varieties of the seed from so many years, and very rightly we have put that particular topic of Raibai Popre in our class 12 syllabus also, and Government of India rightly choose Padma Shri Raibai Popre for prestigious award of Padma Shri. So we cannot forget the role of women in the production of the environment. My dear friends, with this particular picture, I would like to drag how the role of women is very crucial in the environment protection. In this particular picture, you can see there is nothing special. कुछ भी special इस particular picture में नहीं है. This picture I have taken when I before 2 years we were there for the collection of the Nirmalya during the Ganpati Visarjan. But in this particular picture, I would like to expand this picture, and in this picture you can see that the picture, that particular lady, that particular Maushi holding the Ganpati in his hand, which is without painting. Then I asked that lady, that Maushi, तुम्ही हा गणपती पेंट केलेला का बरं विकत नाही घेतला किंवा का बरं नाही घेतला? तर त्यांनी म्हटलं, त्या मावशींनी म्हटलं, त्या अनएज्युकेटेड मावशींनी म्हटलं की साहेब, आम्ही गणपती बनवणारे लोक आहोत आणि आम्हाला माहिती आहे की गणपती बनवताना खूप साऱ्या रंगांचा आपण यूज करतो, आणि ते रंग खूप टॉक्सिक म्हणजे जहरीले असतात, आणि जेव्हा आपण गणपती शिरवतो तर ते सारं टॉक्सिक, ते सारं जहर पाण्यात जाते. म्हणून आम्ही आमच्यासाठी जो गणपती बनवतो तो रंगहीन बनवतो. माय डियर फ्रेंड, दिस इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट पिक्चर आय वुड लाईक टू टेल यू. सो विथ दिस picture we can say that the woman who knows the importance of how the water body is polluted with the artificial color. So my dear friend, we cannot forget the role of women in the environment protection. When we are talking about the different stakeholders, schools and colleges have very crucial role. We have to impart the education, at the same time we have to form certain small groups so that we can have a dialogue with the local body. Then role of students in environment protection is very crucial, as well as students play a very significant role in the environmental protection. They are sensitive, receptive, and take any advice, suggestion generously. And there are several schools that actively participate in the cleanliness campaigns also. My dear friend, I would like to tell you, the small childrens, the college going people, the college going students are really green warriors, and they can take the message and seriously they can participate to the various environmental protection activities. I have explained you the example of Greta Thunberg. She was only 15 years old, and she has started the movement ban on school. And in that particular moment, almost 20,000 different school children have taken participation, and government has taken the cognizance, and he has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize also. So one can take certain types of initiation. What is my role in the environmental protection? That is, awareness is my role. We have to create awareness. Prevention, pollution prevention is my role. Preservation, nature preservation is my role. Conservation is my role. Control of the environmental pollution is my role, and production of good things is my role. So there are various role of we people also. Yes, my dear friends, we need everyone's help to stop the pollution, to stop the environmental pollution, as well as to create the awareness, to educate the people is everyone's role. It's our world which help keep it clean. It's not my world, it's not your world. In the morning itself, Dr. Pitki has very rightly depicted that human being is considering that the whole planet is their only, he is the only owner of that that green planet, that Mother Earth. But it is not like that, my dear friend. We, all the flora, all the fauna, all the microorganisms are the owners of this particular earth, and it's our duty to keep it clean, to keep it in a proper position as well as in a proper condition also. My dear friend, before I conclude, I would like to tell you, we have to rethink for our choices. We have to refuse our single use. We have to reduce our consumption. We have to reuse everything. We have to refurbish the stuff. We are not supposed to throw away the stuff. We have to repair. We have to repurpose. And at the last, I can say that we have to recycle the things properly for the betterment of the earth. My dear friends, this is a carry bag I have taken from Mac store, and I suppose it is very samarpak, so that I have taken the picture of that particular carry bag. What they have written on that particular carry bag, they have given that there is no planet B. We always used to say that we must keep our plan B ready, but there is no planet B, my dear friends. There is no planet B. We have only one planet, and that is beautiful Mother Earth. We have nothing. There is no different planets where we can live. So there is no planet B, my dear friends. So we have to take care of this particular planet in wise manner, my dear friend. Yes, at the end, I can say that we need development, but what type of development we need? We need development. At the same time, we have to take care of our nature. So what we have to use? Sustainable development. The concept of sustainable development, it is the taking away point from this particular presentation. We have to develop cities. We have to develop world where we can live in a very harmonious relationship with the environment, my dear friends. So sustainability is very at most important. So at the last, I would like to say you, my dear friends, let us tie our hands together, do your bit to protect and conserve your biodiversity, work for the sustainable development, use wisely the knowledge you gained from the environmental education, and ultimately works for the betterment of the Mother Earth, my dear friend. It's the need of today's era That means it is the utmost need of today's era that we have to protect and conserve our Mother Earth. Whatever we have gained from the environmental education, we have to spread that knowledge among the society, among the children, among the people, so that they become a green warrior and they carry the message of protection of the earth and they spread the message of protection of earth. With this particular thing, I would like to conclude here. If someone want to ask me some question, if possible, I'll be very ready to give the answers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for to the organizers for calling me and giving some good opportunity to share some of my views with you all. Thank you very much for my side. I would like to rest here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I would like to request all participants, if you have any query, you can ask to sir. I would like to request all participants, if you have any query regarding sir's lecture, you can ask to sir. Okay, sir. Thank you for enlightening us and thank you for delivering a very informative speech in this seminar. I would like to thank you once again.
Thank you very much
for projecting the need of sustainable development in context of biodiversity and global warming. I assure you that your views on eco restoration will certainly bring out new ideas to tackle the environmental issues. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for being with us. With the permission of the organizers, I would like to declare that the first technical session is over. Now we will move towards the second technical session. For the second technical session, we have got the chairperson, Dr. O.S. Deshmukh, Principal, Sri Shivaji Science and Art College, Chikli District, Buldana. And the speaker for this second technical session is Dr. Sharda Kosangarman, Senior Scientist, CSIR, Neri, Nagpur. I would like to invite
Dr. Khadse. Hello. Dr. Thakre is there, which was the chairman of our technical session.
Okay, sorry.
Yes, sir.
So let them speak.
I would like to invite Dr. Thakre sir to share his views.
Thank you very much, sir. I am very much happy that this college, Arts, Commerce and Science College, RV, has organized such a beautiful e-seminar on the topic importance of environmental education. Sir, am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, on importance of environmental education for sustainable development. First of all, I would like to congratulate and even thanks to this particular organization of this college, the principal sir, the Dahat sir, the Khadse sir, the Kende sir, and most importantly, the Rajkumar Khape sir. He's friend of mine, and I very much like his lecture. I have heard him so many times, and such a beautiful lecture he has just delivered for all of us. Friends, being the chairman of this particular session, the nice talk regarding this particular topic. The most important thing is, I have seen in so many seminars and all that, environmental education, the topic is not highlighted that much, but it's your effort. Because of your effort, you have brought all these things into reality. That's a major achievement of this particular seminar. I would like to add certain thing in this particular, being the chairman of this session, and to be the encourage the masses, dear friends and participants. This particular concept, when we see this environmental education, just minutely or micro thinking and you just see that this particular thing started. This is an extension of education. When firstly we have to educate ourselves. So education is the first thing, and after that, the that is the application of education. This is the environmental education. As it is someone rightly said that if you are talking out the meaning of this word education, you simply say what is the meaning of E of education. E means enlightenment, D for development, U for united, C for creativity, A for attention, T for talent, I for innovativeness, and the O for the outstanding performance. And lastly, but not the least, the nationality is the most important thing for all of us. Now, this is the meaning of the education. The person has got the education up to this level, but nowadays what we have to think is and do is that is we have to apply this education in our lifestyle, in our the long life. We have to apply this particular concept. So that one concept is extended from education to environmental education. Okay, that concept is there. Now what you are doing here and what you are aiming here, you are actually applying the knowledge of the education for what? For gaining the knowledge of environment, for understanding the preserve nature of the nature, how to preserve the nature, then how to conserve the nature, how to utilize the resources of the nature, and those things which we are doing or anybody is doing, it is for us, that is for the present generation, and at the next end, that is for the future generation. So that is the application of this word education here. The Khafekar sir is rightly said the application of the education to the environmental education. Now what who has taken this effort in this particular era? The first, I would not extend this particular speech, but would like to add certain things, important thing. The first, the world first intergovernmental conference on environmental education, it was organized by the UN, United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization. We say at the as the UNESCO. Okay, in October 1977, where participants from all the nations were there. Okay, and that conference was named as the Tbilisi Declaration. Tbilisi Declaration, and this particular declaration was the, and I will say is the milestone in this particular field, that is environmental education. Now, what has come or what was the outcome of that particular education is that this environmental education, that is the extension of education, it is for the local people, it is for the national level, and it is for the regional, and it is also extended to the at the international level. And the only sole aim is to preserve and to protect the nature and our generation. I am saying you, our generation. Then what human being is expected to do is that he has to see the ethical part of his working, ethical part. So what that ethical part says, it is whatever you are doing, you just observe or you just see whether that thing is right or wrong. So that is the ethical part. You just judge yourself. Don't ask anybody to judge yourself. You judge yourself in terms of whether your action, your process is beneficial or harmful. That is the ethical part. Then social, being the human being, you must be a social animal. Okay, so anybody is harmed, it is reflected towards you that one day you will be also getting harming because of the deterioration of the nature. Then cultural things, by cultural things you can preserve and protect your environment. And all these things what you are doing, it is you are doing for the economic upliftment of poor, the people, and even the nation. Okay, you want to increase the GDP of the nation, but not you just increase the GDP, but not at the cost of the environmental degradation. So that was the outcome of that particular education. Now what they say that your education must be in two parts, that is the formal and informal. Formal education where we see where from school, colleges and all that level, where we are. This is also a formal type of education. But what about the informal type of education? The people who is not educated, who are not educated. You go there, reach there, and educate them in terms of the education, how this your action is harming to the nature. Then what we have to gain? We have to gain the experiences obtained from the education to the educational, that is experiences got from the education, the primary education, and applying to the environmental education. And basically that is for solving the environmental problem. I am moving forward, dear friends. My student is working on this particular topic in for PhD work, and what she has done a very beautiful work regarding the bringing out the awareness about the people. First, she has found out the how much type of awareness among the people are there regarding the education also and environmental education also. Then she got the knowledge of the people's knowledge regarding the education also and the environmental education also. Then she had find out the attitude of that particular people in the village, where they are willing to work for environment or not that. Then she has also find out the various skills people are having, maybe by the traditional way or by they have adopted to that particular situation. Then she has also find out the what are the possible ways where people are participating in all these movement of environmental protection or environmental degradation. Whether environmental degradation are there, what are the causes? If they are protecting the things, how better they can protect further. That is the sorry, the thing they are doing there. Then sorry, she has also she is also engaging in find out the evaluatory part of that particular environmental education in so many villages. So this is the part of the topic research topics she has taken for her doctorate research, and I am very much thankful to her that she is at least highlighting the ground scenario of Indian villages and what are the sustainable measures. Okay, she is also going to find out the what are the indexes of the sustainable development in that particular villages. Now friends, before close of this particular the talk on the chairman talk, I would like to the highlight, this is the situation in your college. Your college, you see this environmental education in your college itself. If you are looking this particular environmental education in your college, you will see that you will be having so many resources in the terms of, in the forms of the trees you are having in your campus. So green campus, to try to note that whether your campus is green, it is not only green, it is clean in terms of plastic free, the paper free, the water you are using, it is being conserved nicely. The water, the amount of water you are using and amount of water you are getting from the rainfall, that is the thing. The energy point of view, if you are having certain solar the capture mechanism, or that means you are trying to reduce the carbon footprints for the world. I'm not talking about the India, for the world you are reducing, for maybe that the shade will be very minimum, but you are reducing the carbon footprint. Now what happened, the once you got the trees in your particular the colleges, your next goal should be to measure the biomass of the trees. You must be asking, why sir you are asking the measurement of the tree biomass? Why I am saying the measurement of tree biomass is, that is the one point where you can say to the world that our college campus is enabled, we are active in reducing the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Means carbon you are storing, whatever the carbon that has been stored by the plants in your college, you can mathematically convert them into the amount of carbon dioxide you have removed from the atmosphere of particular your college area. Okay, so this particular thing can be done with the help of the NSS activities, the NSS camp, NSS student, even the college student, they can do these things. Nextly, your college can collaborate with the organization like the Center for Environmental Education, the Ahmedabad Center for Environmental Education, the Chennai, that is Madras, they are calling formerly. Now, what would be the benefits? The benefits would be, your college will be directly attached to the Center for Environmental Education. and in the NAC activity, or maybe for the upliftment of the college, for increasing your the performance among this particular city and all that, you can really say that our college is environmental friendly. We are emphasizing, we are giving the more importance to the environmental education by collaborating with the organization and doing lots many things for the protection of this particular nature. So thank you very much, sir, for giving me an opportunity to speak on this occasion. Thank you very much, sir.
Uh, Thank you very much, Thakre sir, for enlightening us and for delivering such an informative lecture, as it has covered all the aspects of nature conservation, environmental conservation. Your definition of education is certainly thought-provoking, and certainly will helpful to conserve and protect our environment. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much, sir.
With the permission of organizers, I declare that the first technical session of this national seminar is over. Now we will move towards the second technical session of this seminar. For this second technical session, we have got as the chairperson, Dr. O.S. Deshmukh sir, who is principal of Sri Shivaji Science and Arts College, Chikli district. And the chief speaker for this second technical session is Dr. Sharda Kosankar ma'am, who is a senior scientist, CSIR, NERI, Nagpur. Now, I would like to invite Professor J.R. Pandey sir, Department of Botany, to introduce the chairperson of this second technical session. Dr. J.R. Pandey sir.
Good afternoon to one and all. Myself, J.R. Pandey, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Arts, Commerce, Science College, RB. Now I introduce to Chairperson of second technical session, Dr. O.S. Deshmukh sir. Dr. O.S. Deshmukh sir, presently working as a principal of Arts Science College, Chikli district, Buldhana. He has 20 years teaching experience and 15 research paper experience. He has been completed one minor research project funded by UGC. He has 22 research paper to his credit and published in international and national repute. Presently, one research student working for PhD under his guidance. I found myself very lucky working as a research student under his esteemed guidance. He is a treasurer of Indian Congress Science Congress Association, Kolkata, Amravati chapter. He is life member of Indian Botanical Society, Lucknow, Indian Aerobiological Society, Kolkata, and Indian Mycological Society. Thank you for your precious time.
Thank you, Professor J.R. Pandey sir, for introducing the chairperson of this second technical session, Dr. O.S. Deshmukh sir, in brief. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Anup Gumle, Department of English, to introduce Dr. Sharda Kosankar ma'am. Dr. Anup Gumle sir.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Arts, Commerce, and Science College, I am going to give the brief introduction of Professor Dr. Sharda Kosankar. Ma'am is working as a senior scientist at Environmental Biotechnology and Genomics Division, CSIR, NERI, Nagpur. She has done MSc, B.Ed, and PhD from Nagpur University and started her career as a project assistant at Environmental Impact and Risk Assessment Division at CSIR, NERI, Nagpur in the year 2003. She has 19 years of research and professional experience in the field of environmental sciences. She worked as a research officer at MOEFCC for 2 years before she joined as a scientist at CSIR NIRI in 2013. She is also NABET EIA coordinator for sector mining, river valley, and thermal power plant, and functional area expert of ecology and biodiversity. She is the recipient of various fellowships like Senior Research Fellowship of CSIR, Research Associate of CSIR, Women Postdoctoral Fellowship of UGC. She had worked for almost 60 EIA projects of different sectors and research projects in methyl mercury for DST Government of India. She has published 30 research papers in different international and national journals. She received 4 Best Papers Award in different conferences for her work of PhD. She has done her PhD on wastewater treatment of vermitechnology and postdoctoral research on anaerobic biogas energy generation by wastewater treatment. I hope her words of experience will guide us today, and all the students and participants will be benefited by her knowledgeable words. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Anup sir, for introducing Kosankar ma'am in very brief. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Sharda Kosankar ma'am to deliver her lecture.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you for the nice introduction. I'm very much glad to be a part of this national seminar. The organizers, Rahat sir, who was continuously in my contact from last 1 month. And I have seen how nicely you are coordinating since morning. I'm really very happy to become the part of this occasion. So I'm sharing my presentation, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, it's not sharing. It's coming as disable share. So
Now you can share.
Sir, at your side, it's coming as disable share. It's disable attendee screen share.
Now you are made a co-host, ma'am. You can share your screen.
Yes, sir, please wait. The bonus so that we can share. Have you changed? Have you made the co-host?
Let me check, ma'am. Please wait.
Yes. And the screen sharing is disabled, sir. So it is difficult to share then.
Ma'am, wait a minute. Ma'am, now you click on share screen. Share screen. You can. Now you can share your screen time.
Yes. Sir, is it visible?
Yes,
My
ma'am.
presentation is visible?
Yes, your presentation is quite visible.
Okay. So we'll start. Sir, I think there is background sound is coming. So I am very request to please mute the other mic which are on.
Okay, ma'am. We will meet all the mic.
Okay. Still some of the mic is not. Okay, now it is fine. Already we have listened to Khapekar sir, and very nicely has narrated what is the responsibility of a citizen and what is responsibility of government and the Democrats who are looking for the economy. So it's not a single person game. Environment is a multidisciplinary subject. Every subject, expertise from every subject is required into it. Subject from biology, chemistry, engineering, mathematics, physics, biophysics. So all the expertise are required for the for dealing this environmental issues. So if I remember, in our childhood, there was no such environmental science subject in our syllabus. Why? Because that time there was no need actually. The environment was totally safe, and since there we were confident about the environment, so it was not necessary that time. But then with the increase in the economy, we are seeing day by day the environment is going down and down. So right from first standard, if we see the syllabus of CBSE, so from first standard itself they have the EVS subject, environmental science subject. So from first standard only students have been taught about the environmental sciences. If I see my daughter's textbook of EVS, all the air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, and she knows about everything. So this is the understanding now students are getting right from their 6 to 7 years of age. So uh, as this environment is, as it is very harsh at present, and then everybody has to involve with this with their own capability by solving their by making the discipline in their life with respect to not putting pollutants anywhere, or restricting others if anybody is doing that activity. So what is environmental education? Very nicely, sir has told us what is the benefit, what is the objective of environmental education. It gives us the capability of understanding basic principle, basic concepts, and then act upon it. And after acting, we need to maintain the things whether it is in its proper shape or not. The main objective is to get the awareness for a common people. We can say it is required to get aware, but then the students who are coming in their next generations, they have complete knowledge, detailed knowledge, and then they have attitude of maintaining the environment wherever they go. Definitely they will not do such activity which will hazard us or which will cause any problem to their safe environment. Then it gives you the skill how you can tackle your problems, how you can make the things more better. Then it gives you the evaluation ability. Evaluation is important, how you can assess your environment whether it is safe or not. Then participation, if you have a proper all this qualities with you, definitely you can participate as one of the member, and even you can guide to other people and others you can take with you, and then you can find some better solution for your nearby areas. A simple example I'll give you. In Nagpur, there was some developmental activities was proposed in Bharatvan and also in Ajnivan. But people are so aware nowadays, and they protested for that. And ultimately, the local authorities, they has to change their plan, and they have given the protection to this Bharatvan as well as Ajnivan. But For Ajnivan, it is not still protection has not given, but still people are protesting for that because of awareness only. And since if you lose this green cover of the city, definitely this Bharatvan and Ashrivan and other greenery portion of the city, they play an important role as a lung of this city. And if such activities day by day, some projects are coming and they will destroy the environment, definitely it will have a very bad impact on the community and the people on the biodiversity of this area. So because of awareness only, there are various steps has happened in on this country. A simple example I'll give you. In 2020, there was a EIA notification, that is Environmental Impact Assessment notification was proposed by the government. Already there is a EIA notification of year 2006. And there are so many cases, so many conditions are given very nicely. And even though if we see having all this the stringent rules, the pollution is still going on, the activities and everything is going on, and we reach to such an extent that we need to think whether this earth will exist or not, or if it is dying, or we are going in a negative direction. But if that another EIA notification of 2020, if come into force, then definitely because a lot of liberations were given in that notification, and almost 20 lakh people from this country, they opposed to that notification, and they very clearly they said that if you bring this notification into force, definitely people will go on strike and all those things. So because of their force only, their statements, government did not bring that notification, and they did not apply it, and still they are following the notification of 2006 only. So this is how the people are getting aware, and they are putting their thoughts, so that government has to take a strong step. Otherwise, if nobody says, then we can imagine what may be the situation of where we are staying. Then coming to the why this environmental education, we are every time in every college and everywhere we are talking about environment, because this is the only thing. If environment will be there, we will be there. If no environment will be safe, definitely we will not be. Very important, very crucial, and very genuine result for which every college, every institute, every government organization, and every person of this city and this whole world is doing all their efforts. So when we look at the challenges of this environment, we know that nowadays global warming is there, climate is changing with very rapid speed. Then we are seeing land degradation at so many places. People are making their their industrial structures, and then after that nobody cares for that land, whether it has been revived or not, restored or not. Nobody cares for it. Then coming to ozone depletion, we have seen that earlier ozone hole was very small, but then now every day the size is still increasing more. Then everybody knows about water pollution, atmospheric pollution, soil pollution, air pollution, then depletion of resources, then population explosion, and then biodiversity depletion. So everything is going to be on depletion mode. Then what will happen? We have hardly few hundred years. If we didn't protect this earth, definitely we are doing the negative growth. So we know that this country, especially if we take the example of India, India is a highly diverse country, and in such a highly mega diverse country, all such activities are going on. And in that activities, all kinds of biodiversity, all kinds of resources are getting exhausted, are getting overexploited day by day. In case of if we see that in case of biodiversity only, India possesses 2.4% area of whole world. In case of area only, land cover. But when you look at the with respect to the flora, fauna, we are on 8th position of mammals, reptiles, amphibians, and birds. But and in case of angiosperms, we are on 15th position. We have 45,000 of plant species in India, whereas 91,000 species of faunal species. And we are in top in the tiger conservation. We are top in the elephant corridors, elephant population. We are top in Asian lion population. So all this, when we have such a highly diverse country, we have hotspots in our country. 4 hotspots are there. So if we kept all this information aside and day by day we are focusing to the only development day and night, only economy, so definitely our progress is not a progress. It's a we are moving towards the end of this earth only. We have these problems like microplastics, plastics, then industries. We have minings. People are doing mining, but whether they are following each and every probable required things in that premises. As per ministry's rule, they have to, but ultimately somewhere they are contributing towards the pollution only. When we see at the ocean, it is full of lot of we can say the money is coming from the ocean only, because fisheries, shells are there, then pearls are there, salt mining is there, so a lot of funds are also coming from the ocean. But then when we are going for the over exploitation, the things are going in very bad situation. Very recently, 2 days back, there was a World Wetland Day, and on that day, or if we see that in our country itself, not in the world, but then if only in India, almost 50% of the lakes are already degraded in condition, and the degradation of this lake is 100 times faster than forest degradation. And almost in every capital cities, metropolitan cities, almost more than 50% lakes are under stress. So again, there is a option that we need to take a lot of efforts to revive those lakes. Wetlands, they are very crucial. They are very important. They play the important role as a kidney. The kidney for this whole world, because they absorb a lot of pollutants. When rainwater comes with the runoff, they accumulate a lot of heavy metals, and then a lot of sediment has been stuck at the entry point itself, and then the water has been very easily released into the groundwater, and then that has been recharged. So they maintain the groundwater as well as the above terrestrial water, aquatic water. So they even protects the floods, and then maintain the boundaries of the ocean as well as the terrestrial boundary. But then what we are seeing, when they are such a highly important and they are very productive and fragile ecosystems, which needs major attention to be focused, and they have the place for the migratory birds also, and gives a lot of ecological ecosystem services, because a lot of food is coming from the wetlands, also in forest also. So all our needs we are getting from this earth only, this wetlands, forest and oceans. So when we are taking so many things, it's ultimately our duty to look after them. But then already we have so many wetlands, and in India we have 47 Ramsar sites. Ramsar site is that the site has been notified and designated by the Ramsar Convention. So under Ramsar Convention, India has 47 wetlands which needs proper attention and care, which has been declared, which has been conveyed by this Ramsar Convention authorities, and that has been proper management activity. Major Ramsar sites like Lonar Lake, then Uller Lake, Loktak Lake, these are Sundarban wetland, Chilka Lake. So these are the wetlands which are in highly demanded and very helpful to maintaining the overall climate of this country. And therefore they're looking at their area and the problems, anthropogenic activities which are taking place near to that areas. Because of that, they are under degradation condition. And then his that Ramsar authorities also look into consideration. They need to give more focus as per their guidelines, and with the cooperation of local government, they have to protect this wetlands. So not only 47 wetlands need the attention, but every wetland, every lake, and every river of this country needs proper attention and management. So when we see that environment is not that supportive, or rather people are not supporting to protect the environment, this is the situation. And then we see that there is continuous emission of carbon dioxide due to developmental activities. As in earlier presentation, we have seen that continuous increase in temperature is going on. Right now, it is with the Paris Agreement, we are at 1.5 degree raise already we have seen, and the effects whatever we are facing, it's because of the just increasing 1.5 degrees centigrade. But then if we didn't follow any rules, we didn't follow the agreement conditions given in the Paris Agreement, definitely we will going to reach up to the more than 2.2 beyond 2.7 even. And although there is Paris Agreement, but who follows this agreement? Because this agreements gives you the conditions for every country, but then local authorities or the all governmental authorities or the private partners even. So there, even though having all those policies and rules, there is continuous degradation of environment is being seen. If we compare the CO2 emission of some developed countries and developing countries with respect to world population, we'll find that there is large difference. Like in case of North America, if we find that they possesses hardly 5% of the whole population of the world, but then they emit 22% of the carbon dioxide. And that makes the lot of pressure on the nearby areas or the other countries, other ecosystems, and then that CO2 did not get sequestered because of continuous degradation of forest. So such countries which are highly responsible for this CO2 emission, they have a major responsibility, or else it is the complete responsibility of everyone. But then the polluter pay principle should be there, and based on that principle, they should focus more on this direction. Yes. When looking at the Africa, they are having 15% in the population, but they contribute only 3%. So it shows that their role in cohesion is needed. But then other countries like you see they are 3%, but then contribute 6%. So this is also very disturbing numbers. So looking at everybody's contribution in the environmental sustainability, countries should take the major efforts, and they also support to the developing countries for solving the issues coming every burdens. So I think there is some other background sound is there. I request please Dad sir, I'll request to please ask who is unmuted their mic.
Yeah. Okay, madam.
Yes.
Done, madam, done.
Yes. So with the increasing continuous industrialization, we have seen that there is increase in the ecological footprint. So what is ecological footprint? It is how much environment you are consuming, we are or industry or whatever the environment or the resources we are consuming, that gives the ecological footprint. Already we have 51 billion hectare of land, and out of that land, 12 billion hectare of land is biologically protected. Where in that, the 2 billion hectare of land is covered with the water, and then 10 billion of hectare of land is only used for our purposes. So we have 6.3 billion population by last year on this earth. So when we divide it, it is 1.9 hectare per person. So, but then with the every birth, it is again reducing day by day. because death rate and birth rate is not same. If 16,000 births are there in 1 hour, then 6,000 deaths are there in 1 hour. So there is a drastic lot of difference in birth rate and death rate. So we need to think that way. Day by day there is continuous growth in the population, and then we are reducing. We are getting minimized land utilization or per capita land for in everybody's domain. So we have to. Everyone has to make efforts for reducing their ecological footprints. If we compare in developed and developing countries, then this shows that USA is having five. Means they will, if they continue their lifestyle in the same way, definitely they require 5 Earths for completing their needs of that country. And Australia, it is 4.1, South Korea it is 3.5, Russia is 3.3, Germany is 3, and so on. And India is 0.7. So, since India is a developing country and a lot of poverty and underdeveloped people are there, so we see that India's ecological footprint is 0.7, whereas the all developing countries, they show what is the requirement of their life and their well-being, and that cost has been bear by the people who are not part of their activity. So there is a requirement of very strict policies, rules, so that everyone has the right to get safe environment. Then if the things go on in that direction only, like continuous economic development and industrial development, definitely one day we're going to face the food security problem. Poverty is already there, but then although we have a lot of money, but then we cannot eat the coins and notes. We cannot respire them. Ultimately, we'll require the oxygen for respiration only, and the food for eating and for our sustenance. So food, with the rise in temperature, what will happen? All our crops will not grow properly. Their ripening, their enzymes, their photosynthesis, everything will going to affect, and we won't going to get the proper required amount of food. And along with that, all our faunal species, we are getting milk, but then those species may not get sustained. So it will be very difficult. With the rise in temperature, getting a water for this crop will also be very difficult. So food security problem will be there. So looking at the further complications, this is the right time to get awakened for everyone. Then regarding ozone hole depletion, we have seen earlier it was very small, but then after 20 years the size is still increasing and increasing, and then those ultraviolet radiations, they may be directly striking to the earth's surface, and then the heat may not be re-radiated from this earth's surface to back to the stratosphere and troposphere. So in that way, ultimately the whole earth surface will going to suffer. There are a lot of CFCs, chlorofluorocarbons, which emits due to aerosols, refrigeration, and various solvents that need to be under control. There are various fire extinguishers and pesticides also contribute for the increase the size of ozone hole. So, such as the activity which contributes for the increasing of CFC, that has to be controlled. Then, if such increase in temperature may cause the ozone acidification, and if once ocean acidification causes, what may be the impacts we cannot even imagine. All the aquatic biota will be in a danger. All the phytoplankton, zooplanktons, and all the aquatic food chains, food webs are there. They get dislinked, and the whole biota will get collapsed. So that may get converted to the graveyard even. Since this phytoplanktons, they contribute for the almost 70 to 80% of the oxygen production of this earth. So if rise in a simple 1 degree temperature will affect them because of increase in acidification as well as increase in temperature of the water. Water will be the warm, and because of that they will not get reproduced, and there are higher consumers, they will not get proper food. Ultimately, the whole food web will be disturbed. Even when this H2O and carbon they join, it will form the carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid, what it will do, it will decalcify the shells, so their distortion may happen to the shells, so all the whole population of the shells will destroy. Then there will be the principle of survival for the fittest, so whichever species will be fit, they only survive and rest of the species will die. And we know that based on this principle only, survival for the fittest, hardly few species will be able to sustain because of the harsh environment. And this due to change in the temperature, habitat loss will be the, definitely everybody knows. Then warming of ice wall, warming, due to warming, the sea ice will also melt, and that will also loss. Then fish declining, coastal sprawl, and eutrophication and species redistribution. So this all disaster may happen, and already we have already incurred in the sixth extinction. If we see the past data of 5 extinctions, we have seen that whenever there was such a big environmental crash happens, so whole biodiversity comes into danger. So based on the informations received from a lot of universities and from different scientists also, it has been proved that already 6th extinction has started. So under 6th extinction, human is also in a danger along with all the faunal species on this earth. So and for this extinction, only human being is only responsible. Because earlier there were no control of the human being, but now that everything is under the control of human, and then they have to put all their efforts to manage these issues. Then if we see the example of melting of glaciers, in earlier presentation also we have seen that how the glaciers get melted and disappear after within 5 to 6 years. The Canada's Arctic glacier has lost almost 1,000 times due to warming temperature. Earlier, that surface was lost before 2005, hardly 48%. But after 2005, the 90% of that glacier has been melted and its surface has lost. Similarly, in case of Arctic and North America also, Glacier National Park, which is located in the Montana, USA, that has been almost 75% of that glacier has been disappeared, and now no glaciers will be left in that park by 2030. So this is the situation how glaciers are melting. Keeping these points as a key points, a lot of efforts are needed nationally as well as internationally. When we see at the global deforestation facts, then under deforestation fact, it's very clear that 20 million acres of forest were lost between 1990 to 2020. Only within 30 years, 20 million acres of the forest has lost. And for every minute, we are losing 2,400 trees. So how much pressure is building on the remaining flora, remaining trees or remaining green cover? So on the other side, the continuous CO2 is increasing and we are reducing the green cover. So where this all CO2 will go? Ultimately, it affects to the population, the people, the life present on this earth. And then when we see the different year-wise comparison of tropical tree cover loss, we'll see that by 2070, how much we have lost almost 16 million hectares of the green cover. So with such a rapid speed, if proper precautions and proper steps did not take, if nobody took at this moment, definitely it will going to have a lot of disastrous effect. Then, if we compare this tree cover of different continents, like in Latin America, already within 15 days, 15 years, from 2001 to 2015, Latin America, they lose 78 million hectares of the forest, whereas in North America, they lose 70 million hectare forest and 48% of the wildlife. When coming to Russia, they lose 64 million hectare forest. And in Southeast Asia, although they are many of the countries are developing, but they also know where they are behind. They are also trying to compete with those growing industries and those growing economies, and they also lose 39 million hectare of the forest, and 61% of the commodity driven forest. So with such a highest numbers, it gives us the picture that how fast we are moving to the disaster. Then with respect to biodiversity loss, the population of this earth is increasing day by day, and green cover is minimizing, but then land utilization is also increasing. So from 1800, if we see, there was the population of 0.9 billion, but then use of land was hardly 7.8, 7.6%, and hardly few species were destroyed or going under extinction. But then in the century of 1900, we have seen that 1.9 billion population was there with the land use of 16.9%, and biodiversity loss, species loss was 0.49%. But in 2000, in year 2000, we have 6.1 billion population and land use was 39.3% with 13.3% of the biodiversity loss. But then what happened to the 2100th century? After the completion of this century, where will find this biodiversity? Because destruction is happening very rapidly, and then if the things are not controlled at this moment, definitely it will be 49.1% of land utilization will be there. Population will be almost double, that is 12 billion, and the loss of biodiversity will be 17%. So we can imagine whether we'll get the water, air or not, or the situation may be like anything. The person who is more capable or more economically flooded, they can have their own oxygen cylinders at their home, and then they can create the water at their industries, and they will try to grab maximum resources for their family. And definitely the poor person who is really do not have that much capability definitely will not have anything, and slowly the population will be in a declining mode. Then if we see with the increasing population, definitely solid waste generation will be maximum, because nowadays we are seeing that plastic waste everywhere. Although a lot of awareness is there, people are taking their cotton bags to the market, and then they're avoiding to take the polythene bags from the shopkeeper. But then who is giving them permission to make such a large polythene bags and then plastic bottles? Somebody is giving permission, otherwise how they dare to sell all this thing in the market very openly? So instead of having such all kinds of rules and regulations, the things are happening as usually. No, there is a very strict rules are still required. Unless we stop all these things, we won't going to achieve whatever we plan to have. In case of solid waste generation, if we'll see, under top 5 countries, there is China, India, US, Indonesia, and Brazil. So in this China, since the population is very large, we can consider that they may be on the top in solid waste generation. But in case of India, you see, our population is large, and therefore whatever almost 12% we are contributing, so that is acceptable, but we cannot say acceptable. That is not a good thing. We need to minimize it further. But then when we compare India with the US, they are 12%, they are producing 12% of the global municipal waste, whereas they are only 4%, and have becoming a 4%, they are producing 12% of the global municipal waste. So for such countries, there should be a very stringent or very strict rules has to be required, or pressure from the other countries also, to minimize their solid waste. Otherwise, where it will going to dump? Wherever it's, or else if they dump it into the landfill or inside the earth, ultimately it will spoil the somewhere, it will go on leaching and it will spoil another area. So that won't going to solve the problem. They has to minimize their ecological footprints, their generation of waste, uh, and the destruction of the resources. They have to stop somewhere. Then, for all such kinds of problems, you may be thinking that I'm continuously showing the problems which are very difficult to tackle, and continuous I'm showing the burden on this side. But then still there is a hope that since the United Nations has given the Sustainable Development Goals, under these 17 goals, they have very clearly given under goal number 13, 14, and 15. Please mute. The background sound is there. So I'll request some of the mic are still on unmute mode. Uh, Under Sustainable Development Goals, there are 17 goals, but then goal number 13, 14, and 15, they are specially focused on the climate, because climate change, we need to work for the climate change, is goal number 13. Then goal number 14 is to conserve and sustainably use the oceans. It is specifically for the life below water. And then goal number 15, it is for the life on the land. We need to protect, restore, and promote the sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystem on the forest and all the terrestrial ecology which is present on this earth. So for these goals, it is very essential to come all the countries together and to have a proper plan how they can take care of their resources. Then, although there are a lot of degradation is there, but then there are few of the good examples where ecological restoration is being seen. Even a small example I'll give in the Koradi thermal power plant. In last 3 to 4 years, NIRI has done a very good job by planting bamboo trees on the fly ash dumps. And also we have covered a lot of area and besides to that area also, a lot of plantation has been conducted by CSI and NIRI. Similarly, we have conducted a very good plantation activity at highway side on the Hinganghat road. There is a national highway is there which is assigned for completely project of this highway plantation, and NIRI has done a very good plantation with variation in a lot of species which are hardly able to found in commonly, but then those species are planted there. So there are a lot of resources where we can put all our energy, all our money in proper direction. Because development is required that we understand to maintain all our life on this earth. It is not possible to go without money. Money is required, but then in what direction? In the direction there should be the jobs which are specifically giving you the green jobs. Like all your efforts and money, if you put in this, definitely we will, up to certain extent, we will able to combat this problem. Under ecological restoration, there is a big area remains is the agriculture, because agriculture is a big polluter, and a lot of the green agriculture cover of this country is too high, and that ultimately that pollutes all your soil, because many of the people are focusing on the chemical farming, and there also very strict rules are required. Unless we move on the organic farming, that soil won't going to protect. The agriculture sector require a lot of efforts with proper direction, proper rules. Then other sectors also there, like lakes are there, then rivers are there, wetlands are there. They also need a proper restoration, and that can be restored. But then there should be a wish and will of the government, and as a person will do, but then that is also not enough. When unless everybody comes together, we won't going to achieve the targets. Then the big area which I earlier told you, organic farming. Organic farming is the only solution if people stop doing this chemical farming, because due to food security or getting a lot of economy, people are moving for the organic or for the chemical farming. But then now people are very much aware. They want to have their organically cultivated food. And that organically cultivated food also have a very good price in the market. So nowhere that farmer is going to lose their values, and ultimately they can indirectly, directly, they are going to protect their soil, and they can manage the whole their ecosystem in the more better way. And nowadays farmers are also being educated for so many things. They have been given a lot of subsidies from the government also, and but for specifically for the organic farming, it is required, because unless they didn't apply this, all their food crop grown by insecticides, with the help of insecticide or pesticide, that are going to get proper clearances in the international market, because internationally people are very much cautious about this. And if this practice going continues, then definitely economy will also get suffer. But this is with respect to the economy. But then what happened if the local people from the country, if they have continuous feeding on such kind of crop product which is already grown with the help of pesticide, insecticide, definitely their health will going to affect. And then ultimately their more amount will be invested on recovering and treatment, and then all those things. So ultimately what we are getting, the person who is selling, he is getting only money, but then other people who are consuming those things, they are losing their health, they are losing their money, and they are ultimately in a loss. So when this is very crystal clear, that this is, and already proved by so many studies that this is not good for our health, then in that case there should be a very strict laws required for restriction of such pesticides. And who bring these pesticides in the market? Ultimately, we can't blame only a person who is bringing in a shop, the whole chain, and whomsoever the industries which are producing, and who is giving them a clearance for making such kind of pollutants. There should be some good strict law which will restrict your product into the market. Like simple example, in India, we don't have such kind of barriers. Anybody can make anything and they can sell in the market. But then there should be some barrier. Who will check? Somebody should check the quality, the efficiency, and the whether it is really fruitful and whether it contains proper elements or not. It has to be checked. In India, we have Safai, but then with the help of Safai, hardly few products are screened, but not every product. The people are selling fishes in the market directly, but who check whether that fish is healthy or not? If that fishes get bioaccumulated with the methyl mercury, who knows? And the people who feed on those fishes, definitely they will have certain neurological disorders. So this is how there are a lot of loops in the rules also. And this is the area where government as well as citizens, if the people get aware of it, definitely they will force the government to make certain rules, some strict regulation, so that nobody can put any wrong thing in the market. And this is the how gaps has been noticed by the people. Unless having all those awareness and environmental education, we cannot put our thoughts to higher authorities. So one more example I'll give you. In Punjab also there are a lot of chemicals they are using in their farm. So now after this much, almost after 30-40 years, people are seeing that there are many cancer patients out there, and daily cancer express is going from Bikaner, Bhatinda to Bikaner. Bikaner is in Rajasthan. So this cancer express take a lot of all the cancer patients went to the Bikaner. People take their treatment and come back in that cancer express. So this is how people are getting cancer. So ultimately, why? Because your soil is polluted with these pesticides, and when your soil is not healthy, how can we become healthy? Unless your earth, your soil, water, air, that is not healthy, definitely we will not healthy. So when this is so clear, then ultimately it realized that there is a gap between rules and regulations, and the greed of getting lot of money is the main reason behind it, because this earth environment everything is there to get our need but not our greed, because there is no end for the greed, there is end for the need but not for the greed. So for such a greedy people there should be definitely a strict rules are still required, because unless that we are seeing how disastrous things are happening. Then when we think for the economy and environment, because why these all types of disaster has happened, because ultimately the reason is economy, competition with the developed countries. All developing countries are also mimicking that. They also want to run with all the developed countries, and they also want to grab all the opportunities, and they try to do so many things, so many raw material cultivation, and then all processings, and they started their whole industrialization, and they are also running with the developed countries and competing with them. And they are seeing the trillion economy dreams, like 5 trillion economy dreams. But then what these dreams you are taking to whole world to a ultimately to a graveyard, because this is not a dream, this is your graveyard. So but then when the people realize nowadays there is a lot of pressure to all the youngsters also, they are not getting jobs. So uh, but then there is another opportunity that the one can search for the green jobs with respect to plantation, with respect to restoration, with respect to solid waste management, with respect to temperature balance. So all these areas are still vacant, and people can divert in that direction also. Earlier there was linear economy. In linear economy, the product was formulated, used, and disposed of. But then now there is a continuous pressure from the higher authorities also to make the circular economy. Ultimately, when that product has been come into the market and used and disposed of, that has to be look into the direction of proper again utilization, reuse, and recycle. So unless we think for the circular economy, solid waste and all other resource consumption will not stop. Then under green economy also, a lot of efforts are being done by the government also, because in case of energy sector, there is more focus on the non-renewable sources, renewable sources rather than non-renewable sources. So in case of simple example, if we'll see, there are some of the products which come into the market is like simple plastic. So nobody studied how long that plastic will be, or else if people studies, but then who bothers for it? How long that plastic is surviving into the environment, and if it is surviving, then ultimately the management destruction. It takes so many people, lot of effort, and then lot of energy and funds. So there should be something like that tax on that product, or else that product may be banned ultimately. And the product like biodegradable product may be promoted rather than promoting this thing. A simple example of sanitary napkins. Those sanitary napkins, they sustain on this environment almost for 400 to 500 years. And when we know that this is not going to, even diapers also, they are not going to degrade into the environment. So when they are not degrading and everybody knows, then such product has to ban, and the degradable product are still there, but they are not being promoted. So the more weightage shall be given to those products only, which will be going to degrade in 1 to 3 years or in near future. So we need to balance our lifestyle. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to control all those crises. Then we are still not having proper policies, rules and regulations, because instead of having all those rules, we are seeing the effects. There are rules required in the climate policy, agriculture policy, marine policy, then regional policy, forest strategy and biodiversity also, because economists think in his way that he wants a proper trillion and 5 times economy, but then a proper toolkit should be there to control all this kind of problems. Then we have the environmental laws with respect to Air Act in 1981, Environment Protection Act 1986, Biodiversity Act 2002, National Green Tribunal Act 2003, and all other acts in hazardous management side, then ozone depletion, then noise pollution. Everywhere we have the rules, regulation, acts, but then still somewhere there may be the loops, gaps. Because of that only, the things are happening in that way, and then those gaps has to work internationally as well as nationally. Then there is a need to stabilize the complete environment. Unless we stabilize our environment with respect to the life below ground as well as life above ground, the soil, ocean, then public health, then your biodiversity, safety, emissions, and land management, urban health. So on all directions we will have to work together, without which it will be very difficult. And looking at this problem, there is an opportunity for the coming generation to have maximum research which will combat these problems, so that they can able to control CO2 emissions, they can sequester more carbon dioxide, they can help to have better purification methods for water, air, and they can have better restoration technique. So green skills is the need of present hour, because it is the although students understand the environmental science properly, but then it's our duty also to direct them in this way that they can learn to have their abilities, they can explore their more abilities in these sectors. Then there are certain suggestions like utilization of wind energy, nuclear energy, solar energy, and there shall be some taxation on carbon. Who is emitting more carbon, they may have carbon tax, and there shall be some development of national renewable energy policy. Then electrifying transportation, because nowadays petrol, diesel, that cost too high, but then they pollute too high. So there is no point of running those vehicles on petrol and diesel. It's as per government also targeting to by 2030, they are planning to make all the vehicles on electric. Then energy efficiency is the major issue, because population is increasing, energy consumption is also increasing, but then a renewable source of energy is the only way, so that they can reach to every person, and the ecological footprints can also be minimized. Then for getting net zero carbon emission by 2050, there are 8 points are needed if we think for the net zero by 2030. But then in present COP26, Prime Minister has stated it, they will achieve it by 2070. But earlier it was thought of by 2050. So hardly 28 years are there. So in that way, if we increase our solar capacity from 3.5 times up to 500 gigawatts, definitely the things can be possible. Then electricity generation from coal has to be stopped immediately. but it's not possible to stop immediately. But then slowly all movement has started. Even in present budget, almost 2 to 3 days back, the budget has been declared, and in that it has given more weightage to the green energies also. And obviously fossil fuel energy has to be phased out slowly, and so that the pressure will be managed on both the sides. Then current natural gas generation capacity has to be maintained. Then in case zero emission vehicle sales share to 50%, we have to increase the zero emission vehicles only. Then increasing of cell share for building heat pumps to 50%. And then new buildings and appliances shall be strict energy efficiency goals that also need to be managed properly. And then R&D for carbon capture, sequestration and carbon neutral fuel. A lot of research is still required, and because science and technology is doing their work, but then still there is a lot of scope for the research in this sector. And we need to build the electricity transmission pipelines for carbon dioxide and hydrogen gas. So if the not only India but then other countries also work on this aid direction, definitely up to certain we're going to minimize the carbon emissions. In last year at Glasgow, UK, the United Nations Climate Change Conference has been conducted, and in that, from the side of our country, the Prime Minister has stated that we will going to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2017. Because at present it is very difficult to completely phase out this thermal power plants, and because a lot of investment and people are already dependent on it. Unless we have second option ready, the things will be ready by 2070, but then slowly it is started. And then the second point they has given that reducing total projected carbon emission by 1 billion tons starting now till 2030. So by 2030, definitely carbon emissions will be reduced to 1 billion tons. And then they are increasing renewable energy to 50% and total energy requirement by 2030. So, and the fourth point is that reducing carbon intensity by 45% by 2030 and increasing non-fossil energy capacity to reach 500 gigawatt by 2030. But then, although these are the points given in last year COP26, but still, it is the way the country is moving. It seems that the speed is more required in this, because achieving 500 gigawatt by 2030 is a very, I can't say difficult, but then it's very cumbersome to reach within 8 years to up to this capacity. But then they have started doing a lot of efforts, and the solar energies has given more preference in the budget also. But still, so many efforts from every angle are required from the citizen, from the private, and from government as well. So here is the education for sustainable development is coming. So knowing all these challenges of environment in present world, this is the responsibility of coming generations also to understand the problems and to work upon it. And this gives you the opportunity to create more research, and also promotes the global responsibility, how the people can work together and can solve the problem. And this learning will give you a proper understanding to tackle, to deal with the every activities going in your area, as well as you can keep a watch on the internationally where the wrong things are going on. And you can, because in today's world we are very close by social media, you can put your thoughts, and indirectly your thoughts will reach to the concerned person, and definitely will get alert, and somehow they will manage to minimize their problems. So in this way, sustainable development can be achieved with the efforts from all the angles of government, authorities, and the people, and the coming generations as well. So thank you very much. I think I have done with the task given to me, and a take-home message is that it is our collective and individual responsibility to preserve and tend to the world in which we all live. This is thought is given by Dalai Lama, and this is very true. We should, everyone has to work upon it. Thank you very much. Questions are always welcome.
Thank you very much, ma'am. If we any query, you can ask to madam. I request all participants to ask any query if they have. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for enlightening us and for focusing on global environmental challenges and the ways to handle the environmental issues so that the sustainable development can be achieved. Thank you very much for being with us and sparing your valuable time. Thanks once again. So I would like to invite the chairperson of the session, Dr. O.S. Deshmukh sir, to share his views on this occasion.
Hello. Thank you, sir. I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, thanks, sir. First, I congratulate and thanks to the RV College for giving me this opportunity as a chairperson of the technical session 2. Madam have explained all the environmental educational awareness related thing which is a need of a today's time, and this college again I congratulate for choosing such a type of the recent topic for the awareness on environmental education to the people, because most of the people they can thought but they do not do anything regarding the awareness program. So in this way, madam in his speech gives all the detail how the project, the environmental impact assessment on the human being, then plants and animal, the present scenario, the change in the season, then cold climate, then warm condition. So all the things madam include in his speech. Again, I thanks to the organizer for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Deshmukh sir. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time. Thank you very much for being with us. Now, with the permission of organizers, I declare that the second technical session of this e-seminar is over. Now, we will move towards the last segment of this seminar, that is valedictory function. Valedictory function. We have got the chairperson for this valedictory function, Dr. N.M. Dongarwar sir, head of PG Department of Botany, Rashtra Sant Tukaji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. And we have got chief guest for this valedictory function, Dr. Pallavi Jamwal ma'am. Now I would like to invite Dr. M.S. Bhair ma'am, Department of Zoology, to introduce Dr. Pallavi Jamwal ma'am. Dr. M.S. Bhair.
It's my proud privilege to introduce today's chief guest, Dr. Pallavi Jamwal ma'am, an eminent personality for valedictory function. Dr. Pallavi Jamwal ma'am is working as Assistant Professor in Higher Education Department, Government College for Women at Jammu, Kashmir. Her qualification is MSc, MPhil, PhD in Botany. She has qualified CSIR UGC NET in Life Science and UGC NET in Education. Her area of specialization and keen interest is in cell biology and cytogenetics. She has 5 years teaching experience and 7 years research experience. She has presented more than 10 research papers in various conferences and seminars. She has more than 5 research papers to her credit. I welcome you, ma'am, on this auspicious and prestigious occasion. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. M.S. Bhair, ma'am, for introducing Dr. Pallavi Jamwal, ma'am, in brief. Now, I would like to invite Dr. S. Dhahat, sir, to introduce the chairperson of this valedictory function, Dr. N.M. Dongarwar.
Very good afternoon to one and all. I would like to introduce today's chairperson of the valedictory function, Dr. Honorable N.M. Dongarwar, sir, as a chairperson of inaugural function. Dr. Dongarwar, sir, has been working as a professor and head of the botany department, Rashtrasanta Tukadoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. He completed his MSc in 1993 from the Nagpur University and was awarded with the PhD in 1998. He has 23 research years of teaching experience and 20 years research experience. Taxonomy, ethnobotany are some of the prominent fields of his interest. He has completed 4 projects, guided 8 PhD and 5 MPhil students under his esteemed guidance. He has 53 research papers to his credit. I welcome you, sir, on this prestigious occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dhahat, sir. Thank you very much for introducing the chairperson of this valedictory function, Dr. N.M. Dongarwar. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Pallavi Jamwal, ma'am, to share her views on this seminar in short.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, all those eminent professors and speakers. First, I would like to thank Department of Botany, College, Science, Arts and Commerce College, Arvi District, for giving me this opportunity to say a few words for this valedictory function. Basically, the topic chosen was very concerning for the dire need, because we have all reached a point from which we revert back is very much difficult. The point has been reached, the climax point from which our earth, it cannot be sustained back, or its resources have depleted to such an extent. First, I will thank Dr. Anil Dahat for introducing me, and the first speaker of the first technical session, Arab Khapekar, and Shraddha Kosar ma'am and Sankar ma'am, speaker of second technical session. Both the speakers highlighted very important issues like ban on the use of plastics, or the importance of wetlands, and whatever sustainable goals. Sir, one thing I want to impress that sustainable development is the issue of every eminent environmentalist or organization, even United Nations as well. There has been set a 2030 agenda for this also, and there are 17 millennium goals also. First we read that it is a change in mindset has to be taken, just as we start from home, and we should collect all the unused, unnecessary plastics in our house and do not dump it on the roads and drains, because I have seen in Jammu this is a cause of floods here and blockage of drains. So beginning from home, first we have to ban use of plastics, and must take cloth bags with this. Our one associate here, he's a member of Red Cross Society, and he campaigns very much door to door for the ban on the use of single plastics. So I will thanking Shraddha Kosar ma'am and Kapekar sir for highlighting the important issues relating to the sustainable development. And so one thing is also I impressed upon that at this time in this at this time we have reached such a point, you will realize that every year summers are much hotter and winters are much severe, and you will come to know that orange mangoes, the fruits we are eating and the pulse and the cereals and pulses which we are coming to home, they are also contaminated with such a level of pesticides, because the aim of actually we are public dealing with the we are teaching, or we are every public servant or every government job holder or in private business also, we are all under political impact. So politically the role is development, but we do not know what is this all connection of this development, that development is not in undergoing in a sustainable process. Although we have a ministry for education, for environmental protection and forest, but our forests are depleting. If you have a chance for coming to the Jammu city and visit Patni, you will find there were at one time there were very dense coverage of devdar trees. Devdar trees are very peculiar to this Patni region, and you will find that hardly in the mountains look like barren mountains. So I think that highest officials, government officials, and politicals, which frame policies, they have to be kept. They should be more enlightened. So I will end with my this speech, and I will. Sir, can I share some screen also?
Definitely. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Can.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
So my screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, I want to impress upon, just like Shraddha Kosaman has said, the biggest issue is facing this environment, population, overpopulation of humans, and all the major environmental issues you have. These are all overpopulating the planet.
You can proceed.
Okay, and the human activities at this time, I initially stressed that we have already reached a point from which we cannot come back. So it is too late to undo the damage that climate change has done to the environment. So these are my some observations that last 4 years were the hottest one, and the winter temperature in the North Pole has also risen by 3 degrees centigrade. Heat waves are rising, coral reefs are dying. Risk to food security is increasing, wetlands are drying, hailstorms increasing. So some observation regarding fruits, mangoes becoming sweeter, oranges becoming sour as a result of climate change in Wayanad Science Hill district, Kerala's in Kerala. I want to show some sustainable development features. It's all you can see here the how the sewage and the garbage thrown into nalas are affecting our. It's all anthropogenic, and these are resulting in chloride and arsenic pollution. Actually, some heavy metals which are entering in our bodies through food chain. These are of major concern, as these will induce the risk of cancers and mutagens in our body.
Madam, your screen is not visible.
Okay.
It's looking black.
Be connected.
So this is. So now it is visible?
No, ma'am. Resharing. You can reach. Now it is visible, ma'am.
Okay, okay. So no, in case of the name of development, you can see on my screen some of the man-made disasters. You all know. We all know that these are some man-made disasters, and methyl bhopal gas tragedy resulted from the leakage of methyl isocyanate some Chernobyl disaster, Fukushima nuclear disaster. So all these, what human beings at least need. These all developmental projects have lead to such a damage to our environment and nuclear holocaust. Then we have groundwater depletion, and the two major heavy metals causing this is arsenic and fluoride. Then we have tsunami in 2004. Then biodiversity extinction, just as ma'am told out, leading to no, I am at present time I am studying on this fluoride contamination in drinking water in our area. So you all know fluoride is present naturally in rocks, but it is increasing concentrations. They induce skeletal paralysis, bone damage, and very tooth problems like polyuria, tendency to urinate more frequently, muscle weakness, fatigue, etc. Uh, Sustainable development as given by the Norwegian Prime Minister Bertland, World Health Organization. It is the meeting the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generation. So, this multiple tasks, that is sustainable development, is not the criteria of one, not the task of single mind or one person. Just as Shraddha man has impressed upon, it is a multidisciplinary. People have to participate in, government has to participate in, partnership in it, and it will ensure the prosperity of millions of this goal is shown. Now I will stress upon we are taking any developmental project. So our highest officials must ensure that does it protect the biodiversity, does it prevent soil erosion, does it slow down population growth, if it induces forest cover, because forest restoration is very important for us to slow down the emissions of CFCs or carbon dioxide, methane. Does it cut off the emission of sulfur oxide, nitrogen oxides, and carbon dioxide? Does it reduce waste generation? But these points will not come in the mind of officials which are taking some environmental projects. Now we can use these for sustainable development appropriate technology, which must be resource efficient, eco-friendly, and culturally suitable. Reduce, reuse, and recycle approach, as the ma'am stressed upon. These goals are talked by ma'am also. These are transforming the world. This is the 2030 agenda by the UN for MGDs, Million Development Goals. Now, who has to contribute? We all are talking and reading and writing and speaking essays upon this huge speeches. Who will the main stakeholders in this? That is the scientists, development workers from around the world, and what is the contribution of science and technology to sustainable technology? का क्या role है in minimizing pollution? Who conduct dialogues? Who, why, what? So I think these things should be stressed upon among science, policy, and developmental communities, because development एक common man नहीं करेगा. जो बड़ी organizations होंगी, political parties होंगी, politicals में जो officials बैठे हैं, bureaucrats बैठे हैं, उनका stakeholder है. They are also earning with millions from it. So, I conclude that UN Secretary General in his speech in this Millennium Development Goals held that freedom from want, freedom from fear, and freedom of future generations to sustain their life on this planet are the three grand challenges. From this time onwards, these are three main targets of this Sustainable Development Goals. If freedom from want, too much greed is not required. We only want to satisfy our needs. Freedom from fear and freedom of future generations. An international research system for sustainable development should be there. Just you will see an international R&D system for sustainable research and development to match existing systems that have been built up to meet the other grand challenges of freedom from what and freedom from fear. Because in many countries, food insecurity is just there. Then last, I will want to say that we should all follow environmental ethics, because from ethics, this is at the individual level. This is man is all powerful, and we should be converted human centric. Human centric नहीं हमें होना है. We should be a nature centric thinking हमें develop करनी है. Environmental ethics refers to these issues and guidelines relating to human behavior with the population, because nature has provided us with all the resources for leading a beautiful life, and she nourishes us like a mother. So we should respect her and nurture her. This is earth-centric thinking. So I think that And this present a sustainable development, because we cannot impair or we cannot transform everyone's mind. We can transform our mind from a human-centric to earth-centric thinking. You should love and honor the earth since it has blessed you with life and governs your survival. You should keep each day sacred to earth and celebrate the changing of its seasons. You should not hold yourself above other living things because you are grateful to plants and animals which nourish you by giving food. And you should limit your offsprings and reptiles celibacy, I think, because too many people will overburden the earth. You should not conceal from others the effects you have caused by your actions on others. So that is, you should practice every other action by considering that the earth and its resources are common for all. And sustainable development is possible only that we have one earth, we have no other planet to live on, so its resources are common to all. So it is rightly said at present moment, the environmental crisis is an outward manifestation of crisis of mind and spirit. So it is all another bent of mind. It all depends on how do we think and act. So thank you. Need of the hour is save nature to survive. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for enlightening us and sharing your valuable views on this occasion and sparing your valuable time. Thank you very much once again. Now, I would like to invite Dr. N.M. Dongarawar sir to share his views on this occasion.
Good afternoon, one and all. I'm happy that I'm the part of National Seminar on Importance of Environmental Education for Sustainable Development, which is being organized by Department of Botany, Krishak Education Societies, Arts, Commerce and Science College, RV. So far, we have listened to Dr. Rajkumar Khapekar, Dr. Sharda Kosankar Madam, and Dr. Pallavi Jamwal Madam from Jammu, who shared their views regarding the environmental education. Now, in today's world, everybody is talking about environment, whether he is a student of life science, whether he is a student of environmental science, whether he is a student of any subject, because we are nowadays very much concerned about our environment, because this is the area, this is the place where we are living. And I personally feel that in our solar system, Mother Earth is the only planet where life is existing. Because whenever we talk about life, I personally feel that the life we are talking about is the macro life, not in terms of what we say as microorganisms. Though we many of the times we spend billions of dollars to search life on other planet, and we probably overlook the life which is present in our planet. I personally feel that which I earlier said that I personally feel that Mother Earth is the only planet where the life is existing. Whether it is the microbes or macro, whether they are insects, whether they are animals, whether they are plants, whether the large animals are there. Many of the times we do not care about those organisms, we do not care about those animals, we do not care about those plants which are of no use to us. And we should not forget one thing, that probably we are the last occupants of this planet. If we look at the fossil history of human beings, we don't find any place in the geological time scale. We find only in the recent period. Probably 150,000 years from present, the hominids or the human beings or the modern man can find its existence. And we don't care about the other animals or other organisms, and we think that we are the only organisms who are having brain or who are intelligent. But we should not forget that we are not sharing this earth with others. Actually, the other organisms, including insects, plants, bacteria, viruses, they are sharing their earth or they are sharing their planet with us. We are not sharing with them, but they are sharing with them, because since we are the last occupants. Now, why there is necessity of awareness about the environment, about the environmental education? The necessity is that each and every person, whether he is a student, whether he is a citizen, whether he is a senior citizen, should be made aware about the usefulness and the ill effects of environment. The planet where we are living, the planet which is being destroyed due to human intervention, and that destruction, that damage has to be stopped somewhere else. So that's why it is very much necessary to make aware the people regarding the environment. What will happen if we do like this? What will happen if we don't do like this? That's why environmental awareness is very much necessary. And maybe that is the reason why the Supreme Court of our country has made compulsory to all the students, whether they are the student of commerce or they are the students of engineering or they are the students of medical science, that they have to learn something about the environment. So environmental science education is compulsory to all the students, so that we can know that how this earth is surviving, what is the role of plants, what is the role of microbes. We many of the times do not pay attention, or we do not give importance to the microbes. What will happen if there are no microbes? No decomposition will take place. No recycling of nutrient will take place. So every organism, whether it is a fungi, whether it is a bacteria, has some role to play on this planet. So once we are made aware about the fact, we start respecting the other organisms also. It is very much necessary to give credit to all the organisms which are surviving on this planet, because since they have evolved on this planet, they have some role to play on this planet. Everybody is playing their role. The plants are playing their role in the form of fixing the solar energy, converting it to some form of energy. That energy is then transferred from one trophic level to the another trophic level. How will we survive if we do not consume the plants in the form of vegetables, in the form of cereals, in the form of pulses, or in the form of food? We will not survive. So that's why plants are very much necessary. And the most important thing is that plants are the only organism on this earth, besides some bacteria, which can produce oxygen, because oxygen is very much necessary. We all have seen the importance of oxygen last year when there was shortage of oxygen in the hospitals, and many people, they have died due to non-availability of oxygen. Plants are the only organisms which are producing this oxygen, and they are maintaining the level of oxygen all over the world. So that's why these plants are to be respected. Then, as far as environment is concerned, if there is no human intervention, the environment can take care of itself. And this we have seen probably last year also, when there was a lockdown all over the world due to COVID-19 pandemic. Probably all the industries, all the transportations, all the cities were closed down. And at that time, probably this was the time for the environment to rectify all the mistakes which were done by human beings. You might have studied, or you might have read in the newspapers, you might have heard in the television channels, that all the rivers which were earlier considered to be the polluted rivers, all of these rivers were cleaned automatically by the nature itself, by the environment itself. Then the biggest worry to the mankind was the ozone hole. Because we know that ozone is the layer which probably protects us from lethal ultraviolet rays. And this ozone hole was increasing day by day due to the discharge of chlorofluorocarbons and other gases. But when all the industries were shut down, where all the vehicles were minimized, at that time probably the ozone hole was also, what we can say, repaired by the nature itself. So the nature or the environment or the earth has the capacity to rectify all the mistakes which are committed by human beings. The only thing is that we should do only those things which will not damage the environment, which will not damage our Mother Earth. And that's why there is all the time saying that sustainable development should be there. We all know that development is required, but that development should be sustainable development, where all the organisms of this earth are benefiting. Many of the times we think of ourselves only. We grow only those plants which are consumed by us. We grow only those vegetables which are consumed by us. We grow only those flowering plants which are favored by us. We grow only those fishes which are consumed by us. And rest of the animals, rest of the plants are all the time overlooked by us. But we should not forget one thing, that these plants, these animals, these insects are there on this planet from the beginning, when there was no sign of human beings or there was no sign of modern man. If they have evolved, it means that they have some role to play. As I told you earlier, that if there are no fungi, if there are no bacteria, the degradation will not take place, recycling will not take place. That's why they are also very much required. If there are no plants, then what the other grazing animals will consume, what the grazing animals will eat, what will you eat as vegetables, as cereals, as pulses, as fruits, as food crops. If there are no plants, then from where the oxygen will be produced? If there are no planktons in the ocean, how the oxygen will be produced, how the fishes will be surviving. So that is very much necessary. I'm very much happy that the Krishak Education Society's Arts, Commerce and Science College RV has organized this e-conference, which has been attended by a large number of persons from all over the country. And I could see that they are from different parts of the country. It is an indication that you and we people are concerned about the environmental awareness. So I congratulate to Dr. Anil Dahat sir, who is organizing secretary. I also congratulate to Dr. Verudkar sir, convener and principal of this college and convener of this conference. I also congratulate to Dr. Jayesh Pandey, Department of Botany of this college. And I'm thankful to the organizers who have given me the chance to speak on this occasion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for enlightening us and delivering such an informative speech on this occasion. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. Now, I would like to invite Professor Jayesh Pandey, sir, to propose the vote of thanks for the seminar.
Thank you, sir. It is my pleasure to propose a vote of thanks on the occasion of this one-day e-national seminar on importance of environmental education for sustainable development 2022. I, Jayesh Pandey, Assistant Professor, on behalf of Arts, Commerce and Science College, Extend my gratitude towards all the speakers, member of management, and technical support staff, participants for being with us. Today, we had Dr. J.A. Tidke sir, ex-professor, vice chancellor, and ex-professor and head of the Department of Botany, Sant Gadge Amravati University, Amravati. As a chief guest of inaugural function, I express my sincere gratitude towards him for his presence and for sharing his thought. Dr. H.R. Vedukar sir, our principal, is always in an assertive mood. Today, through his presidential address, he has inspired us. I express my thankfulness towards Dr. Vedukar sir. I am thankful to chairperson of the first technical session, Dr. M.G. Thakre sir, head of Department of Environmental Science, Arts, Commerce and Science College, Tukum, Chandrapur, for sharing his views. We are all grateful to Dr. R.R. Khapekar, Department of Botany, DRB, Sindhu Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur, who guided us. Dr. O.S. Deshmukh sir, Principal of Arts and Science College, Chikhli, chaired the second technical session of our seminar, and I am express my gratitude towards him. For the second technical session, we had with us Dr. Sharda Kosankar ma'am, senior scientist, CSIR Niri Nagpur, who guided us her words of practical wisdom and up-to-date knowledge.
Sound is not there. No sound. Hello. Dhat sir. Hello, Dhat sir.
व्हिडिओ चालू आहे थांबा व्हिडिओ मध्ये नका इंटरव्ह्यू ओके बस इथं व्हिडिओ एक मिनिट मला हो एक मिनिट बस डायरेक्ट बोला ना चालतं
Yes, continue.
कनेक्ट कर
Mute others' mic and let you continue.
Sir, mute कर sir. Hello, mute yourself.
Yes, continue.
Hello. Sorry for interruption. For the tech,
Let you continue.
for the hello, mute yourself. Sorry for interruption. For the second technical session, we had with us Dr. Sharda Kosankar. Knowledge is very useful for all the participants. Thank you, ma'am, for your time. Dr. N.M. Dongarwar, sir, Professor and Head of Department, PG Department of Botany, RTMNU, Nagpur, was with us as a chief guest of valedictory function. It is a matter of pleasure. For the second technical session, please use a pleasure to have the eminent personality with us. Thank you, sir, for your scholar views for our one-day seminar. Thank you, Chairman of the valedictory function, Dr. H.R. Vedukar, sir, for his continuous guidance and help. Dear participants, I take the opportunity to thank all the ladies and gentlemen who have directly or indirectly helped for the success of this seminar. In the technical support staff, we have Dr. Amar Sote and Professor Shaileshwar Khandare, sir, Department of Computer Science, who provide all the needful. Thank you, Chairman of the valedictory technical support. I thank all the participants, staff member for the active supports and participation in the seminar. My humble thanks to Dr. A.S. Dhat, who work hard day and night for the successful organization of this seminar. Now, with the kind permission of organizers, I declare that this seminar is over. Thank you. Thank you very much. Technical support. I thank all the participants, staff member for the active supports and participation.